sorry.
I'm telling you, that one had some sting on it. To quote Bob Uecker after last night's game, Brewers lose 4-2. Mets move on to the NL wild card round. And thank you for that, Armin Sarian. Thank you for that. That was what we all were needing desperately this morning.
I'm sorry.
To soak even more in the feels and sadness and sorrow that follow a game of that magnitude last night at American Family Field. It's 9 to noon. I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian's right there. And John Kuhn with all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
Sorry,
John,
I didn't have the heart for it today.
Damn. That's you've been in locker rooms after a gut punch like that, in a car by yourself driving, whether you're in the stadium 41,000 plus last night or in a living room trying not to wake the kiddos. That one cuts in a way that only really sports can.
Cut a little deeper because it didn't feel like the same old Brewers. And in fact, it wasn't. It wasn't. We had the lead there going into the ninth until, yet again, it was. And that's the thing that hurts the most, I think, for most Brewer fans, is something did feel different. I think if we're all being honest, we can't sit here and say, I thought we were going to win the World Series this year. That would have been an aggressive stance to take. I think we're going to win the World Series.
I did bet on him to go to the World Series.
But to say I expected more out of this postseason is not a stretch of the imagination. That's what I firmly believed. And like Armin says, you never really know in baseball playoffs. I hung my hat on. I will take the coin flip. I expected this Brewers team to advance through the wild card and then coin flip that thing afterwards. That's a bummer last night. Really hard way to lose that.
Well, sorry, Billy.
No, you're good. I saw the online prediction, Armin, that Brewers fans, however down you're feeling tonight, just know it's going to be way worse in the morning. Pretty true. Pretty true when you think about it. Or was it worse when you were sitting on that floor after that ball goes into the suites in right?
Well, I was in a unique position, right, to do the show with Tim and Pipe Bomb last night. So kind of wallowed in that extra time than maybe some people have, but still does not feel pretty good this morning, no doubt about it. And what you said is true, John, I think to some extent, but sports and being a sports fan is about dreaming, and you know, until you lose, you're never going to stop dreaming that you could make it all the way. But even winning a series, I mean, you dream until the dream's dead, and then when it gets dashed away in the most brutal way, it's obviously that's what hurts the most, you know. So, man, I would agree with you, except for when things started happening yesterday that you didn't expect to happen. You said, dang,
like a Sal Frelick slugging percentage moment.
Dang, maybe this is different.
First Brewers pinch hit home run of the season since April.
That's
Sal's
wild.
first homer since May. It is one of those moments that once you start seeing the unlikely heroes pop up in the specialist, the
Mears. You know that Jordan.
I screamed so many profanities to myself as I was driving. Well, Nick Mears was just telling Billy, you shut your mouth.
I said, I'm sorry, Sal Frelick, for anything I've ever said about you. You guys know the Jordan shrug from 92, right? 92 finals. And like, that's how it felt like.
So what's up?
Frelick hit that ball. I couldn't believe my eyes. Mears got it 1, 2, 3, was fired up. I just shrugged my shoulders like Jordan. I don't know why, but it's working. Maybe this is something special. That's what hurts the most, because it actually felt like that during the game so much until it was the epic tragedy of tragedies. And
it really was.
That was what it was.
And
difficult.
I think that's where at one point last night, as I got back here, Stevens Point going crazy last night. Shout out Stevens Point. Shout out Football Feast. Stevens Point. It was going up last night, and it was a great time. And as we got back, Drew Olson had just gotten back to the Megaplex, John, and then I got there a couple of minutes later, and Armin's in here frantically making sure that all the people that are waiting to talked to Tim and Pipe after the game and thanked them for the season and all the great shows that they did. My man Drew Olson is just like, hashtag baseball. That's incredible. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to get out of here. I was going to wait till they went to commercial. I was going to say some nice things to Timmy. I was going to hug my man Armin. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to walk out of here because I can't be that level-headed about it.
Not now.
I can't be that calm and non-reactionary in that moment to when you are so close to not only being able to, it's one round, right? It's a best of 3 series. I totally understand that. I mean, you're still 11 wins away from winning the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Teams in the last 5 postseasons, John, were 39-2 when leading entering the 8th inning with an opportunity to clinch. Those 2 L's Wednesday and Thursday night at American Family Field. So maybe we owed it. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just the penance you pay for being able to enjoy as much as we did on Wednesday night was to be able to feel that dagger right in your spleen at about 9:15 last night. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the penance you pay. Maybe there's something we did. Maybe we've had too many nice things. Maybe this beautiful roof on American Family Field to be able to bring that as the problem.
It's Murphy's Law. It's Murphy's Law. We said this. It's not just whatever can go wrong will go wrong. It's whatever can go wrong will go wrong at the worst time.
That was the worst time.
What about Yephrem's Law?
Worst time.
What about the Yephrem's? What was the
other one? We're gonna get Yephrem's one of these
Yephrem's.
times. Hey, we did have Yephrem's 2010. We were 60. We were wild card.
Yeah.
We were the longest odds,
That's
and we
true.
went all the way and won the Super Bowl.
But
okay,
you know
so
what?
every now and then it happens.
I'm glad you brought that up because then it's also 21 with the Bucks. Billy, what'd you say?
2019, I had a really
what you said.
sinking realization. I had met my quick story. I was meeting my now wife's extended family for the first time.
Oh, cool. It's a big moment.
Game 6 of the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals. So as
I
had the lead, I believe it was a 15-point lead in the third quarter.
Ursan actually had a big game.
By the end of the night, I was John at this nice restaurant. Not a super nice restaurant, nice bar restaurant attached to the hotel. Ripping cocktail napkins up.
Oh yeah.
Into very, very minute, small pieces, and there was a full plate in front of me at the end of it, and then I walked out, and then they didn't see me for about 45 minutes to an hour. That's a great first impression to be able to make on your future, in-laws and the rest of your family. But I had this moment where I sat down and thought, you're never going to be able to watch that team win a championship. It just ain't happening. So quit asking. 2 years later, immense joy. So you can't give up hope. And I'm not going to give up hope. But damn, last night is one of those moments where you sit back and think, yeah, whatever can go wrong will go wrong in the most inopportune time. Because if there could have been a script written to give you, it's not just losing, it's raising it to a historical art form.
That's it.
Over the last number of years. Very similar, and I know I heard Zabe and Butch and Wayne jumped on. He had a couple of great moments to be able to throw in there. Always fun to be able to add a couple more, like 2014 Seattle. Really, 2021 49ers. Great feeling of it. Now, that
Another
team,
one.
John, to your point, many more people were picking that Packers team to win the championship. MVP quarterback, home field advantage all the way throughout. But you're going to skate through here without giving up an offensive, without giving up a touchdown? You're going to hold that 49er team to 3 points? Not so fast, my friend. Block a field goal, block a punt, score a touchdown, kick a field goal as time expires by one of your old nemesis, Robbie Gould. It's not going to be that good. It just continues to stack up. Should be expecting this from now on.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I hate to say it this way. The Brewers, I root with them, and when they lose, I'm bummed, but I'm not heart ripped out of my chest like the Packers have done to all of us so many times. I'm not heart ripped out of my chest.
Well, of course,
like the Bucks when they were,
the
Eastern Conference Finals and the best player in the game, right? A little bit different when you're rolling. It's a little bit different when you're rolling with MVPs than when you have a team that has half the bankroll of another team, right? Jackson Churio hopefully will turn into an MVP for us someday, and when he is that MVP, those are the years that can really be painful and heartbreaking, like 2017 was. Right now, right now, this one right now, this one is like, this was the excitement year. This was the year. And that's why it's kind of ironically also stingy, as Bob says, because of all the years we expected to do more, we expected to go further, and we didn't. And we said, well, baseball's funny. It's the team you're not looking for that rolls that train right through the town and keeps on chugging while you get off.
Right.
Baseball's funny like that.
We just play that team every year.
For some year, or for some reason, we thought this year we were that funny baseball team that nobody really thinks a lot of, and nobody really hears or knows the players very well. And here we come chugging right through the playoffs.
And
We can't do it when we're expected. We can't do it unexpected. We just can't get it.
And I appreciate that perspective, John, because I think it is somewhat positive, and that was thematic of last night too. After a while, was like we should have a lot more of this to come. We got a great young core, and all these things are true. Will say this though, and I believe this about the baseball playoffs. I don't think it's like year ahead, year behind. Well, I think these days you always have a shot in the playoffs. Because of that, I also feel like it's always an opportunity lost. That being said, I do expect us to come back and continue to play well and give ourselves chances. But man, it's tough. You know what was frustrating? Another one too is like we get ready for these things and we get ready to try and figure out how to talk about it. And Zabe texting me again looking for help, like to rank the toughest moments. And I'm like,
I'm not going to do that.
It's to a point where I'm starting to run out of top 15, top 20. I'm starting
I
to
don't
run
have
out.
that kind of brain
There's
power.
There's too many of them. And I don't want to start trying to extend this. I need a top 25 now. Like it's too many of them, and I can't.
Saw some kid with a notes app, and he just like screen recorded himself scrolling down to the bottom, scrolling down, then plugging it back in.
I applaud those.
Forget so many of them.
I applaud those people. I listen, and I do, and I'll tell you why. Because it shows that they love sports. It shows that they love sports.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We do.
That they have stuck around for so long, and they won't go away, and they keep coming back because they believe that one of these years it will be their year. It will be our year, and one of these years it will.
Has to be.
One of these years
it has to be.
It will. It'll turn around. Did you? Hey,
as long as life
I'm
goes
going to be
on,
dead honest. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I never thought the Bucks would win a championship. I always believed
I thought that was the longest shot of my lifetime.
I always believed that the Brewers would win one before the Bucks. I always believed it. The Bucks won it.
I'm with you. I know.
The Bucks did it. The Brewers can do it too. The Brewers can do it too. And the Brewers can do it too because of what we saw this year out of Jackson Chourio and what we continue to see their team do with pitching and other prospects with a limited budget year in and year out. I'm going to say it, it's going to piss people off. Bites of the apple. We just had another bite of the apple this year. We didn't get the whole thing, but we got a bite of it. We're going to get more bites. We're going to get there one of these days. Just wasn't.
We're going to eat that whole damn thing one of these times. One of these times,
did you have it
to the core and spit it out?
Yeah.
Did you have an awesome time this year? I did. Was Nooner Day incredible?
Way too much fun.
It was incredible.
Way too much
was
fun.
it fun whooping up on good teams? Oh, yes, it was. Was it fun going wire to wire in the division? Oh, yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Was it great to have a series at home in the wild card? Oh, yes, it was. Yeah. There was a lot to be very appreciative about. I can't help it. With this team, I saw none of this coming. So to you, this young Brewers team, to Pat Murphy especially, all the young guys, I applaud you for a season this year. What a damn season.
It really was. Yeah, it was a good one. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy the sport so much. And I was talking about it with Armin John a little bit before the game, or a little bit before the show. You watch so many more games of it, and then inherently in what we do when football season starts, get pulled away from it. And then the excitement in the entire city brings it all back that there was over the last couple of days. And then you get guys like Tony in Germantown who will always be there and will always enjoy being able to throw this in there. All you guys are just sugarcoating what the Brewers really are. They're choke artists. That's what they are.
Okay.
That's what they do, period. Awesome. Congrats.
I mean,
Tony
I don't know what to say.
Or you can be like
Tony.
Dan in Delafield.
Yes,
I've never been in a stadium that went from one extreme to the other in such a short amount of time. What a total kick in the gonads. Was so ready to be there for the celebration and for the season to continue. Just sick to my stomach. Dan in Waukesha. And Dan, you weren't the only one. They had the champagne in the clubhouse, John. They were ready for it.
But That was AmFam 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row from one extreme to another. Literally 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
39
Game 2 and game 3. Bing, bang.
Would've
Went
been
all the way up and then went all the way down.
Would have been easier to lose game 2 and just never got the lead back. You know what I mean? We're down 3-1. We're down 3.
No, because you got to experience it. You got to
Yeah.
experience the win, and that's where I'm.
I'd rather get the win. Yeah.
Whatever the stages of grief are, I'm too upset to really care about emotional.
I keep forgetting.
But like the point where John's at right now, where you can start really, really enjoying all those moments, you wouldn't be able to look back and know that you got the satisfaction. Those young players got the satisfaction of feeling a playoff victory if it wasn't for Wednesday night. So the sting of Thursday, maybe that's just the price you got to pay to be able to enjoy that for Wednesday night.
Denial, which I felt.
Damn, how much are we going to have to? At least we're bankrolling a lot that we're paying up for once we win this World Series. Because, I mean, the amount of heartbreaks that you've suffered.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, we can use that as the CVS receipt.
Yeah.
If we think that it was tick for tack, you don't get Wednesday night if you don't have to suffer for Thursday. I mean, they're going to win this World Series in pretty grand fashion. It's going to be pretty awesome.
I like this.
Okay. I like that. Come on. Did that work?
Listen, I'm always looking for silver linings.
We're trying.
You know that
We're
about
trying
me.
this
I'm
morning
always
with you at
looking
414-799-1973.
It's a hard one though to take, and I mean, and you said it about or who said on the about the way the stadium felt. I'm
Dan
sure
and, Waukesha,
the up and the down, and it's like, you know, my knees buckled, man, when I was like, I can't believe that just over the wall, like. Please, Sal, grow 100 feet to catch that ball. You're bargaining.
I don't know
with
that
yourself.
Mr. Fantastic was catching that ball.
No one was catching
that
it.
thing was an absolute missile.
And then it what is it? Deny. I know what the stages are. It's denial, anger, bargaining. My bargaining was like, can we go back in time and not build that extension on the wall in right field? Remember, that wasn't the original wall.
I like that deal. Yeah.
But none of that's
more triples.
Happen.
That's why we wanted it.
And triples ballpark, all that. Yeah.
And then they made another 1982 documentary. John, that's where it was 2 lined up. We only had to make the 15th 1982 documentary that they were going to go to the World Series this year. They didn't. They don't. And at 414-799-1973, we can react and we can go through therapy at 414. Joe in the 262. I'll say this. While last night was very, very tough, I'm very, very proud of this team. They traded Burns, Woodruff out for the year. Yelich was out for the season shortly after the All-Star break. What this team did was truly remarkable. I think this team is set up for greatness in seasons to come, and I know a lot of people will point fingers. I would rather say this is our team, and I'm proud of that.
Let's go. You know,
we're proud of you, Joe.
And maybe we'll talk about it in the next.
We're proud of Brewers fans.
Proud of everybody. But the one thing that makes it frustrating for me, and you guys can react later, is that from a team standpoint, to get over the hump in the playoffs, to start winning in the playoffs, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it because it's a total crapshoot. It's totally random. You can pick up all the free agents you want. You can believe you're making a difference. You can get Freeman, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge. It doesn't matter. Nothing guarantees playoff success in this format. It doesn't matter. I'll debate.
What if you get some people that get you back? I mean, that gets
okay. Yes, I agree about the buy.
So should we? So will those players help us?
Yes, you should fight for the buy.
Should our
buy the best you can do?
Players help us achieve? That's already.
Yes, that's true. And I know Timmy said last night on the postgame show, we got to start thinking about making moves in the offseason to think about winning in the postseason, and that's not that don't exist.
Let's talk about that on the other side. Let's go through that on the other side. 414-799-1973. Phone lines, talk and text line open for you. We'll go through the Brewers' misery, and then we're going to turn this thing into excitement because it is a green and gold Friday, dang it. And the Green Bay Packers are going to be the next ones to break your heart. They're right in line at 2-2, waiting to go out to L.A. We're going to talk to Matt Schneidman coming up at 10 o'clock as well. It's Armin Sari and John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt. It's 9 to do. Statewide on the game. Hey guys, best time of year is here again. Football season. It already kicked off, and last night's game, the football game was a lot of fun. Baseball game, maybe not, but millions of fans in the 33 odd states or so got in the game last year, making picks on Underdog Fantasy. You won up to 1,000 times your money in a single night by simply choosing higher or lower on your favorite football player stats this fall, like touchdowns, passing yards, rushing yards, receptions, higher or lower. It's simple enough. You can also move those
down, make score statistics, which multiply your odds, give you even more opportunities to win. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple to use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code. Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Billy. Claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Not doing it. No, done.
What are you not doing?
First take was just showing the game, and had to play the Howie, whatever his name is, call on ESPN 880, whatever it is in New York. Don't care.
We don't want that.
Don't care.
There's
It
gotta
was
be,
awesome, fantastic. Pete Alonso hits a home run. Brewers lose. They're out. Congratulations, Mets. Awesome.
Murder She
Congrats.
Wrote's got to be
Does
on
it
or
also
something.
bother you a little bit the way Sal runs into the wall? There, like he didn't know the wall was that close. Like I'm not mad
Well,
at
hold
Sal
on.
for it, but it just kind of it's
Are
just
you
like
trolling me?
no, am I?
Because I said last, I said you don't have to run into walls just to do it, Sal.
That's what I'm saying.
But I promised last night I wouldn't say a bad thing about Sal.
No, I'm not like I'm not. I don't blame Sal Frelick for the home run. I don't think he should have caught it. I don't know why.
Oh, you mean
That bothers me about as much as anything else in the game last night, though, is the way he runs into the wall like he didn't know the damn wall was
Well,
there. He's
yeah.
on the warning track for 5 steps.
it looks like the wall
Has
surprised
his
him.
glove
Yeah.
up and looks surprised that he runs into the wall. I mean, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's a problem. It's a me thing. It's a my problem that I have this emotion. But that just
You should know it,
bothers
yeah.
me for some
Well,
reason.
okay. If I thought there was any chance for him to catch it by timing his jump right, I'd agree. There wasn't. Anyone that is trying to cope by saying maybe if we had a taller
I don't think
fielder-
Yao Ming was catching that ball over
Pipe's
there.
trying
No.
Pipe's trying
Sorry.
to tell me that
I'm
he
not
should've-
saying that.
No, I know you're not.
No,
I'm
yeah, you're just saying the
absolutely
actual
saying-
act of the way
I
going
am
back.
absolutely
No doubt.
acknowledging nobody could have
Yeah,
caught this
wow,
ball.
You're right.
And even if he'd have run up the wall like Bo Jackson and jumped, he couldn't have caught it.
Why did it look like the wall surprised him though?
But it does, and that bothers me for some reason. I don't know why.
I guess because you think it's his home park. You know, he should have because it was a hit by like a rope and a laser with so much pace.
Maybe because just the night before, Jackson Chiro made such an unbelievable catch on his side of the field.
You know what I think it is? And I really believe this. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think the way he was backing on the ball made us all think he had a shot at it.
Yeah, you kind of loaded yourself up and started feeling like you had
I
it.
held up hope that he was going to bring that thing back until I realized, oh, you had no chance at that thing. I thought really the way he was backing up on it, I'm like, this is close. Like maybe he can
Yeah,
grab it.
you know what? That's
You know what I
probably
mean?
what it is. He suckered me into thinking he was going to snag that thing and break their hearts. And in fact, it was never even close. You're backing up like you're going to catch it, and then you're surprised by the wall, but the ball goes 30 feet over your head. What are we talking
I
about?
think that's the reason. Guys, I was ready to do a 180 on Sal last night.
Yeah, you were probably ready to buy a number 10 jersey.
Oh my gosh. The way after the home run and he was fired up in the dugout, I'm like, I'm with you. Like I'm fired up too.
Oh, you wanted my Sal Frelick jersey that I have, didn't you?
You know what it is? I think people under the
With the old number.
the last month have come under the assumption
Correct.
that I don't like Sal, and that's not true.
Oh, that was
I
the
like
best
him.
Ryan Jersey, guys.
Mhm.
I just want to Garrett starting.
Kinda
Over.
similar, guys.
They're close enough. They're all the young guys. They're all the young guys. You know what guy I really was done with after last night? Jesse Winker.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah. You
gosh.
talk
And
about a
then there's-
guy.
Oh my God,
You
John.
talk about a guy that burns a damn bridge when he's gone. I'll say this: there are players that are career journeymen that bounce around leagues that hover around 200 to 220 batting averages, and teams bring them in because they need, a Band-Aid at a position or a spot in the lineup, and that guy bounces around the league for a dozen years. Well, guess what? If the Brewers ever thought for a second, he could eventually bounce back here if we needed
Yeah,
a
that's gonna
Band-Aid.
be done.
He was a guy. He was here for a little bit. We don't need him. We've improved. But if we ever get in a spot, no, that ain't ever happening.
No,
again.
thanks.
Jesse
No, thanks.
Winker. If there's a Band-Aid that's needed, we will move on to the next journey.
Yeah.
You will no
Get a
longer
paper
be
towel.
Yeah. I mean,
I
he
don't-
doesn't have a chance to come
It
back.
doesn't
more.
even-
No.
Even if even if the Brewers wanted him to
Oh
come
yeah,
back
they
to be a
want it.
Band-Aid,
Yeah.
the fan base would erupt. I
And
think
then
that
the
would
New York
piss them off more than
Post
anything.
story comes out that
About his co-parenting thing? No.
no, I'm talking
Oh.
about that Willie Adames met up and waited for him in the parking lot, and the Joker never showed up.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. No, I like that.
Come on, let's go.
You know, he's not going to any parking
Willie
lot.
Adames,
He's on the team
straight
bus.
up.
real one,
Yes.
Real one.
real one.
When it comes time for the clubhouse sale and his shirts are on sale, because unfortunately I think they're going to be this year.
Yeah, I'll be getting it.
I'm
Who?
getting all you Adames because
Adames.
I don't think he's sticking around now. Everyone told me last night. I thought there might be a chance after hearing him post game, and everyone made fun of me. Oh,
Did
I'm
you
gonna
really?
grow
You
up.
really thought that
said-
was gonna?
He
there
said
could
I-
potentially be something.
He summoned his voice, and I'd love to come back and be with my brothers.
I think there's a chance. I definitely think
All
there's a
right.
chance.
All right, John.
You know why? But I'm gonna tell you why I think there's
Come
a
on
chance
now.
this time. This is why I think there's a chance. Because Pat Murphy. And the feel of the clubhouse, the emotion. You talk about it. Yelich, he was getting misty.
He was crying, basically.
Yelich was getting misty.
Yeah.
If you have a team that can move you in your own locker room to emotions, move your leaders to emotions. Yelly didn't even play in the game. Yelly hasn't played for a month and a half, 2 months, and he's getting misty-eyed. That means you're close. And that emotion is needed to win championships. You don't win, no matter how good your team is, you don't win. If you have that magic potion, the potion of emotion on this team,
like that.
You like that, huh?
I like that.
If you have that, you already have a leg up on half the teams in the league. That's why I think there's a chance.
But
that's why
the money's got to be close, right?
If you tell me there's a chance, any team that makes the playoff wins the World Series.
The money won't be even in the same zip code.
Bring us back down, Billy. I know you're right.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to be this guy.
No, but it's needed. It's needed. I think you're right, Billy. And John,
why won't it be close? Why won't it be close?
Well, you don't think we're going to pay the money, right?
They won't pay it. And the other part of it is, and this is the sad reality of why you're gone in the series. I mean, he was 2 for 11 in the series.
Yeah, but he had a big
William Contreras was 2 for 11, 2 for 12 in the series.
He got him
like
started,
your biggest guys were the ones that ended up not producing.
That's true.
And that's the one that's toughest. That's what is really for me right now stinging. Because as many people say in Deviation Down on the Talking Text line, the plan was perfect by Murphy. The execution by Williams was an epic failure.
Yeah.
It really was.
Of course.
You had a great opportunity for your biggest players who are still in the game, right? You mentioned Christian Yelich out. You knew with Wade Miley, Brandon Woodruff out for the season. Robert Gasser became a splash in the pan. Everyone loved being able to see him. He was out for the year. All your frontline players that were still able to perform, John, were unable to in the playoffs. And it's one of the biggest reasons why you're going home. You need your big-time players to make big-time plays. And as bad as it sounds, Pete Alonso went from being one of the most hated soon-to-be free agents of all time into they might pay that guy $300 million because they can never let him walk away.
Folk hero now for them. He made
Folk hero now in one swing. That's how crazy this is when your big players make those plays.
But I don't think management is as emotional as fans and us right now.
Oh, true.
They don't make decisions based off of that emotion.
Hopefully they don't.
They absolutely don't. And when they do, they mess it up bad.
It's Steven Strasburg.
And I don't think they make decisions like that. That's why I don't think Milwaukee's brass is going to look at this and say, well, he went 2 for 11 in the 3 games.
No, I agree
guess
with
what?
that.
Guess what? Because if Devin Williams doesn't walk Lindor and we don't have that 9th inning the way that we do, then Willie Adames and William Contreras might have a big series against the Phillies because that's how the baseball playoffs work. You need a couple guys to carry you each round.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Just 1 or 2 guys pop up all of a sudden. I mean, how many guys have you seen in World Series that you barely heard of the entire playoffs all of a sudden pop off? It happens all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And just sadly, we don't get to play in the World Series. At some point, we will. Ron's in Milwaukee. He's up on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line as some therapy. The couch is open, and Ron is first to occupy that here today on 9 to noon after the Brewers are bounced out in the wild card round. Ron, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? I mean, listen, I'm as disgruntled and despondent. It's a brutal morning. All right. I'm trying to keep things in perspective. I understand the narratives here, but I wanted to kind of step back and just look at this more objectively. All right, there's a lot of emotions running high. This is going to hurt for some Brewers fans to hear. I don't know if we're that good. All right, we had 3 opportunities to beat the Mets at home in 3 days, and we lost. And you know what it goes back to? A lack of focus, and it starts from the top. Adames telling Winker he wants to fight him in the parking lot, we don't need that. That's not what winning teams do. Celebrating as we did when we hit those 2 home runs, the game wasn't over yet. We lost focus. We're not that good of a team. We lost to the Mets. We had 3 opportunities to put them away at home in 3 days, and we blew it.
Yeah, that is true. Thanks for the call, Ron.
I
That is.
can't, I can't
That's
say
not
you-
exactly
you gotta
true.
celebrate
That's-
a home run. You can't
Yeah,
not celebrate
and
those
that's
home
not
Well,
runs.
no, I
exactly
mean
true.
they had leads in all those games and then
we,
lost.
we had one opportunity to end a series with the Mets, and that was yesterday. The Mets had two opportunities to end a series with us, and they did it once and they didn't once. So
Mhm.
let's put a
Yeah,
little
that's true.
perspective
Yep,
out there.
yep.
He's not that wrong that they outplayed us and we missed out. That part's true. I don't believe in him saying we lost focus because we celebrated a home run. That's not realistic.
No, but
That's not.
I do agree that part of a potential lack of focus is how you have the types of uncharacteristic mistakes in the field
Okay, that's fair.
that put them behind the 8 ball in the first 2 games like they did. I mean,
Hey, we wondered.
it's one a
though,
big part of it.
we wondered with the pressure of the playoffs, would it make diamonds or would it break glass? And it does weird things to teams all the time. Some teams, the pressure is it makes them focus and lock in and play better. Some teams, it wigs them out a little bit. And we had
Mhm.
those 2 funky plays at the first base. I mean, we had 2 of them
Yep.
in this series.
Yep.
And then, Devin Williams comes in with a chance to take us to the next round. And he walks the first. You cannot walk. My only gripe last night altogether was that when he walked Lindor, we didn't at least take a trip to the mound to talk to him.
Calm them down. Yep.
Just
Yep.
talk to him. That
Mhm.
was it.
We did-
Other than
Did it
that,
after Nemo's hit, but so unfortunately, so did the Mets.
yeah.
They had something too.
Yeah, and that's when Pete Alonso's getting told by the hitting coach. Apparently, if you watch that John Boy Media
Yeah.
video of the tip pitching potential from Devin Williams, and you want to be upset and frustrated all over again, that'll help. But John, he looks at him and says, "Glove away," and he kind of moves his face away, and all of a sudden, Pete Alonso's like, "Oh, glove away, change up, got it, change up, he got it." All the
Yeah.
way into the right field bleacher.
Yeah, I mean, all the way to we're not that good. Come on, I know Rob's hurting in Milwaukee. That was Rob, right? They
Ron.
called Ron.
Ron.
Told you I'm not good with names.
Rob,
It's
Ron, it's
Bob,
Ron,
whatever.
Ron in Milwaukee. I know you're hurt, man, but we're not that good. Look what Murph did. He brought Freddie Peralta in the 8th. Who saw that coming?
I didn't like it.
After game 1, maybe it was chess all along and not checkers. I mean, it nearly worked to perfection. It was so close. I mean, I can't help but applaud what the Brewers did. It sucks that they lost, and it sucks that Alonso tagged Williams. Like that. But gosh, it was what a magical year, and what a magical kind of wild card round we got.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to say that they're just not that good, that they won a division that wasn't worth winning or whatever you potentially want to throw in there. No, any trip to the postseason is worth going.
Absolutely, Bill.
And in the step ladder of success for a young ball club, hey, you gotta go through trials to be able to enjoy the triumphs that hopefully come in October baseball. One of these damn days, one of these damn years, it's gonna happen for this ball club. Maybe the 2025 championship season. Because Tim Allen announced last night that the baseball postgame show's back for the 20th season.
That was great. And I needed some good
That
news.
was awesome.
He's trying to get to 3,000 shows, and he's like 200 something away. I don't know. He's doing the math on it, so he's going to get there. Not
So one
next
good
year,
run through the
but-
postseason next year.
Well, no, I think it's going to take 2 seasons.
2
but
seasons,
he'll-
okay.
I predict it. He'll get there.
Well, he's not going to do like Sterling did in New York and just bail after the first month of the season when he gets to 3,000.
Maybe he
Right
can
when he
go.
gets to 3,000, see you guys, I'm gone.
I changed my mind. I don't want to do this after all.
Maybe he can do the Hank Aaron thing. You
You're
know,
not signing up for another
See ya, bye, Bob.
162 of this.
you look at Hank Aaron's All-Star game appearances, and he's got more than seasons played
Yeah, that's awesome.
because he's got 2 per year. I'm like, you should just do 2 shows a day.
That would work. That would work. Oh man, we'll check in with Timmy at some particular point to be able to calm down. He said, "I'm taking a couple of days off, and no one's talking to me
That was
at
great.
all."
That was
We're still
great.
talking to you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line before match. Nyman stops by. We'll flip it to the NFL in about 15 minutes. It's 9 to noon on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Jeff in a big truck. Just talk Packers. I'm too salty right now. It ain't Sal. It's Williams. He's not that guy. I would have left Freddie in for the 9th too. He's the only was only getting better after one inning. Jeff in a truck. No. No manager in baseball would have not handed the ball to maybe the best closer in baseball. And if Freddie Peralta gives up a 3-run homer to Pete Alonso, people across the country are calling for Pat Murphy to resign.
Yes, they will,
because he doesn't give the ball to
all the great stuff for all the greatness that we had out of Murph this year. Had he left Freddie in there for a 9th inning, which, quite frankly, I did have the fleeting notion of not for the 9th inning, just for Lindor.
Well, it's tempting.
Just for Lindor,
like,
sure.
I had the fleeting thought of just for Lindor. But like you said, Billy, if you do that, if you're spinning that kind of a wild card and it doesn't work, that's almost mismanagement. That is
malpractice.
Yes.
would almost be what it would end up being. Like you can't do it. And I understand that hindsight is always 2020. You just do the thing that I would have done and it would have worked. The Brewers would still be playing and they'd be in Philadelphia coming up on Saturday. Instead, you will be watching Purdue and Wisconsin on Saturday and listening to my postgame show with Lance Allen, which is going to bring the first win to Wisconsin in about a week. We need a win. And luckily, Purdue is coming in at the right time to be the Boilermaker slump buster. Let's go to Sam in Austin, Texas, patiently waiting on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Sam, how you feeling this morning?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Great show. Appreciate you guys. Feeling pretty terrible. One thing that I haven't heard from a lot of people, and I've been listening to a lot of, post-game shows from last night, diehard Brewers fans. I mean, we're way past the, like, hey, this is a great season. Hey, we shouldn't be there. For 16 years, we have been. 2008, we busted the playoff slump, got in. We hung up a pennant for the wild card, for goodness sakes. Like, we are way past that. We've won divisions. We've been into the championship series. At what point are we like, hey, this has got to be a World Series? And yeah, we had a team this year that we didn't expect to get to the playoffs or even win the division. But by the All-Star break and past the All-Star break, we were a good team. So we should have been there. We had the opportunity. We've beaten the Dodgers. We've beaten the Phillies. There's no excuse. I do agree, though, that like the call yesterday was fine. I mean, maybe pulling Myers early was not the right move, but it worked out. And 100 out of 100, you put Devin in that position. I mean, it is what it is, but we're key players away. And in the playoffs, you see key players make key plays. And Alonso did that. Lindor did that. We don't have those players, and that is the problem.
Appreciate the call, Sam. And that's where, to your guys' little back and forth, and I agree on both sides. I do. And I think both things can be true. I don't know the fix of that's a postseason guy, right? That's a postseason move instead of a regular season move.
Well, what I think Tim means about that, and what I think Armin might not understand, is that Devin Williams can be a great closer, but he might not be your postseason guy.
They might not be a playoff player.
And not even a playoff player. He might be a great playoff player for another team because he might need a change of scenery to unleash his full potential. And the Brewers might need to understand that as well.
Yeah. And you know what, John? That's completely on the table. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be on the table.
With the value that he has?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You can make a move.
And the way the Brewers operate, right? Like there's no player that is going to be untouchable outside Jackson Chourio.
Yeah.
And I will, and I will say
it's here for a decade.
But that's because you got him locked up, though.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Well, no, but like in to Sam's point, where we don't have that player.
Look at Norman.
Now we got one. Now we need to find like 2 or 3 more. It's easy enough. Let's just find another guy who's 20 years old and comes in and has a 2020 season. Simple enough. Let's do it. It'll be fine. Let's find one. We will find some Packers conversation on the other side of the program, on the other side of this break, when our guy Matt Schneidman stops by. He's got takes. He's got fire. And he's a fan. He'll enjoy some of the misery that we have as well in the baseball world and talk Packers and Rams with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin. It's 9 to noon on the game. 9 to noon, hour 2. Need a good laugh, hang out with Armin Sari, and just good times are always around.
Thanks,
and
buddy. I appreciate
luckily,
you.
we have plenty of time to be around with you until noon here on 9 to noon. And right now, we're going to flip the show from the sadness and postmortem of the Milwaukee Brewers into the hope and optimism for the next team in line to break your heart, Wisconsin sports fans. That's the Green Bay Packers, who are currently sitting at 2-2 before they head out to Lipstick City and take on the LA Rams for a 325 tilt, which should be Match Nyman from The Athletic and the Match Nyman Show. Should be the talk of the town. This is a primetime game, 325, national audience, and clearly the Brewers take some attention away, but the Rams coming in lacking a lot of luster, I think maybe take away some of the star power that this matchup in the preseason you would have thought had.
The Brewers. Yeah, I agree.
Not now, Matt. Thank you. Go ahead.
What was the question?
What have the Yankees done in the last 15 years? All right.
Well, they haven't done anything the last week since they haven't played.
But that's fine. Keep your energy. Keep your energy. And hey,
Listen,
the buy earners go the spoils and enjoy your
Shouldn't
week
you be
this week. Because if you don't keep that same damn energy when the Yankees are bounced from this playoffs, you better believe since you're dishing it, you're going to get back. I'm just letting you know.
Shouldn't you be cheering against
keep
the
the same
Mets?
energy.
Shouldn't you be cheering against the Mets?
I'm keeping this energy because I deserve, if the Yankees lose, if they lose these playoffs, I deserve it twofold than what I'm giving it to Brewers fans. I'm
That's
totally
fair.
with you, Armin. I hate the Red Sox. I dislike the Mets. Yesterday, I had a $500 wager on the Brewers to win that game, so I was rooting for the Brewers. But I also
that
like
reason.
seeing, people have painted me as the annoying big brother rooting for the Yankees, especially in this market. So I like teasing little brother sometimes, and that's what I'm going to do.
Who is your little brother?
I mean, people who listen to my show and get annoyed with me wearing a Yankees hat saying, oh, you're just a fair weather big market fan. We're like the salt of the earth little brother Brewers fans. I'm saying the Brewers fans are.
Oh, weird little analogy there.
Well,
I mean, not really. It's small market versus big market. That's my point.
but your home market is New York, so
Yeah,
I'll
I just
give
don't
that
see
to you.
you being big brother to anybody.
Well, I'm the oldest of
You.
three siblings, so I'm a big
That's
brother to
Nyman.
two real human beings.
Yeah, and I bet they kick your butt too.
All right, guys. All right.
You got Billy laughing like a 7-year-old girl over there. Speaking of little siblings.
Actually, best laugh in high school is what that was like. That
Oh,
was
you
my
got
senior
that in the yearbook?
superlative. Yeah, that was my senior superlative.
That's all. Let's
Thank
do
you.
superlatives right now.
All
We
right.
didn't do them. We didn't have any. So
Mhm.
what was yours, Matt?
I didn't get any superlatives. I was just like a nobody in high school. I was in the middle. I wasn't too popular, wasn't too, on the bottom scale. I was just right in the middle, I think.
Billy got best laugh. You got.
I also got
You
Gossip
literally-
King, which
were
made a
you
lot
even
more
in-
sense.
Are
That's
you telling
funny.
me you weren't even in the yearbook?
I was in the yearbook. My picture was in there, but
Yeah,
I
wow.
wasn't notable
Yeah, they
enough
take pictures
on
of
either
everyone.
spectrum to win anything.
So everybody's picture has a little notation of a superlative under it, except for you.
Hags,
No,
have
not
a great
everybody's
summer.
picture doesn't have
Not
a
everyone gets one.
superlative. There
Well,
was
how
a
many-
separate section for superlatives. It wasn't like everybody got one.
Well, how many were in your class too? Because if you're in a bigger class, it's harder to get one of those things.
Yeah, I also probably have the best job out of anybody I graduated with, like 1,300 people.
Take
Or-
that.
or
There's no
not
way,
1,300,
losers.
like 400 people.
You tell me 1,300 people from Connecticut.
1,300 my high school. Sorry.
You tell me no one's got like a Wall Street job or something like
I
important?
said best job, not highest paying.
Oh, I get it.
best
I
job.
appreciate you saying that because you're saying we have a great job. I agree with you on that.
Definitely
Okay.
more
I get
higher
your
paid
point.
than me.
I get your
but
point. Yep, I get your point.
I
No, and
still get
appreciate
people from
that
high school
because we're lucky to
asking
do
me
this.
about their fantasy football team who bullied me in high school, but they're saying, "Oh, is Aaron Jones practicing this week?"
Oh, what? Nice.
Guy.
Do you email him back? How do you like me now?
Older brothers never get bullied, though. They do the bullying. That was my point to begin this entire
All right,
segment.
John, we can't all be 6'3", 250 and an NFL player like you.
You're right.
I got
Right.
bullied by a lot of guys that were smaller than me. But listen, that's
I
one of
got-
the big parts of it. But listen,
Well, hold on. I got best personality. No one asked me what I got.
yeah, and you were prom king. Yeah, we get it. You were the dude in high school. All right,
go,
Armin?
all right, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
had chest hair before everyone else, man. It must have been
In
awesome.
high school, you was
Had
the
a
man,
full beard
Armin.
in 8th grade. It was awesome. I almost swore there I was jacking up Armin too much. Matt, how do the Packers go and win this game coming up this weekend against the lowly LA Rams?
wouldn't say it's the lowly Rams. Like the Rams, yes, they have their injury problems. They don't have their top 2 receivers, but you look at the Packers, they're not going to have Christian Watson. They're not going to have Devontae Wyatt. They might not have Luke Musgrave. We'll see if he's on the practice field later today. Edrin Cooper didn't practice yesterday. Jair, Elton, and Kenny Clark all returned to practice. So we'll see how they make it through today. Romeo Doubs wasn't at practice yesterday for a non-injury related thing. We'll see if he's out there today. So it's not like the Packers have this clean bill of health too.
Right.
I think they got to protect the football, and that's every week. They turned the ball over 3 times yesterday. It's too easy to say they can't shoot themselves in the foot. They can't just shoot themselves in the foot like 100 times, and then they should win this game. They can't miss multiple field goals. They can't turn the ball over multiple times. Like, this is a game the Packers should win unless they trip over themselves like they have been at times this year.
Let's say the Packers win, but Jordan Love shows some more signs of rust. He's had 2 games out of the first month, both a little bit rusty. When do we start getting concerned of Jordan Love? Let's just say that happens this game. Would you be concerned? No. Why not?
No, not even close.
Why or why not?
Because it's not like they've been complete duds. There's been plenty of good in both games. And entering this season, we talked about, it's probably unrealistic to think Jordan Love would maintain throughout this whole season the level of play he showed the second half of last year. And I know there's the expectation, he's getting paid $55 million a year now. He's got to be at that MVP level throughout the entire season, but that's just not true. There are going to be bumps and valleys throughout the way. And right now there is a little bit of rust. One was the first game of the season. One was his first game back from a knee injury. If he goes on a consistent month and a half long stretch of how he has played in spurts throughout those first 2 games, then maybe a tiny bit of concern. But even then, he's doing enough good to offset it for now.
I know he's doing enough good. And listen, he has some spectacular plays, even just this last week against Minnesota. My kind of point is, could we be looking at, and the big thing on Jordan Love coming out of college was turnovers, interceptions. That was the big fear. Well, if you go back to the last quarter of the divisional round game against 49ers, what's he got? 6, 7 interceptions in the last 9 quarters that he's played. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not going to make stupendous throws. I'm not saying he's not going to manage the offense great. I'm just saying, could we potentially be seeing an interception problem with Jordan Love?
But then what about the 8 games before that when he had 18 touchdowns and 1 interception? More than it. More.
We had a whole season. We had one whole season to get to see Jordan Love. We're still going to learn.
Right. But my point is, if he has a 3-game stretch of a couple interceptions, it's not like that's been a problem his entire career. He's equally as capable, if not more capable, of going on a 2-month-long stretch, protecting the ball immaculately. So Aaron Rodgers had, he was better than taking care of the ball than anyone in NFL history, probably. Ever. But Jordan Love might fall in between the Aaron Rodgers and the Brett Favre of being reckless and maybe at times being conservative and really good at taking care of the ball. Well, so it's a 3-game stretch of being a little reckless with the football. And that doesn't concern me. If it gets to a 1.5, 2-month stretch of he's still making these decisions, then maybe we can have a talk.
And a few are okay, because let's be fair. Almost everybody ever falls between that gulf of Favre and Rodgers.
Yeah,
those are the 2 extremes in NFL history.
That is
Brett, Aaron, every other quarterback ever.
Yeah. That is all the gray area in the NFL record books there, Matt.
And they just so happen to be the 2 quarterbacks here.
Right, in terms of great quarterback. Most risky, least risky, both good, really good, obviously. And Jordan, and I bring this up, also has had 6 touchdowns in 2 games in addition to that. So it's not that he's just throwing the picks. He's also throwing touchdowns. So maybe the good with the bad will come. So
I think, the context behind these interceptions is important too, because on the 1-2 Musgrave that went through his hands and went off Dobbs's chest, LaFleur said, yeah, Jordan Love could have checked it down, but Romeo basically ran the wrong route. On the one where he throws it up for Wicks, what was Jordan supposed to do? Harrison Smith was about to take his head off. He had to give Wicks a chance. And then the first one.
Wait, what down was that? What down was that? That's my only problem.
I understand it was first down, which is fine. But Matt LaFleur didn't
third
when we
down,
asked
you
Matt
throw third down, you throw that first, second. I don't care what Matt LaFleur says because he's going to stick up for his players. Number one, you know that,
not
Matt.
always.
You know he's going to stick up for his players. You know it.
First
We
and
can't-
10 from the
we can't-
34.
I literally
say-
just brought up an example about how on the second interception, LaFleur said Jordan could have checked that down. That's putting blame on his quarterback, not sticking up for him.
I think that's still sticking up for him because he absolutely should have checked that one down. I mean,
Or
but the
Romeo
problem
could have
is
run the correct route.
No, the problem is I don't even think he was throwing to Romeo on that. I think he was throwing to Luke Musgrave, and it went high because there was pressure in his face. I mean, this is the way that.
So you don't believe Jordan when he says he was throwing to Romeo?
Well, he does. You got to believe him when he says that. But I believe initially he was throwing to Luke Musgrave. I mean, it hit him right in the hands.
Okay. You're calling Jordan Love a liar. I see.
I'm not calling him a
truther.
But here's the difference. We can't use just what they say as verbatim truth all the time, and then when we don't agree with it, say it's not true. That's what can happen here with their audio, because you know
agree.
Matt LaFleur capes up for the players. Jordan Love's intercept, the one that he threw away. If it's third down, you throw that ball. You throw that ball. First or second down, you got to throw that out of bounds. The one to Dontavian Wicks.
I
in the end
agree.
zone.
I'm just saying, even if Jordan Love does have some fault in a couple of these, it's not entirely his fault. Now, I'm not trying to cape for Jordan Love either, but I'm saying it's not like on all of these interceptions, it's just a bonehead play that's just his fault every single time.
But rarely when a guy leads the league in interceptions are all of them his fault. I mean, you can point to a bunch of those at Utah State. I do wonder though, you said like a month and a half, 2 month stretch. That's how long it's got to go until you can legitimately say, hey, are we reverting back to some more character traits at the position by the quarterback?
Yeah, he also had, and this is something that the Packers front office has said in defending their decision to draft Jordan Love. I think he had 17 interceptions that year, 20 touchdown passes. And I haven't gone back and watched every interception, but the main thing people say in response to that is he had one other returning starter on offense besides him, an entire new, offensive coaching staff.
Yeah,
Now,
this is fair. His junior year was his best one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he had 32 touchdowns and 6 interceptions his junior year. So it's in there, that flawless level of football or near flawless. It's just the other side is not great. And, we could see him come out and have 303 touchdowns, no interceptions against the Rams. And then we won't be having this discussion anymore. So we'll see.
There's still more to learn about him, I think, was the point, right? And it'll unfold in front of us, and I think we're all excited to see what happens. I think we can at least say he's at a certain level of quality that we enjoy.
This is what I'm trying to get at as I prelude this hypothetical to all of you guys. And I've done it with Billy, I've done it with Darman, I've done it now with you, is that when you get the progression he made last year was, man, I got to get some reps. He started getting reps. Man, I'm struggling with the speed of the game right now. How do I manage this thing? Oh, I checked the ball down, started checking the ball down. Oh, with the check downs, the ball and the drives continue to progress. Now I can start to work into finding the answers earlier to the test before the line of scrimmage snap, and then so on and so forth. And that's how a season progressed. And then once you get to the point where the game's starting to feel a little bit easy, feels a little bit easy for the first time, that's when you start taking chances. That's when you start doing next level stuff. And that doesn't always work. That doesn't always work for everybody. There are certain guys that can pull that off at all times, and there are certain guys that take these chances and throw these high risk passes, and they turn into turnovers. That's all I'm trying to get out of this. And I hope that's not what Jordan Love does and, continues to do as the season goes on.
There it is. That's plenty to be able to chew on. What's the status on Romeo Doubs? What are we missing here, Matt?
What are we missing?
A personal situation, did not practice. Is this something more to be confused with, more to be concerned with? Week-long absence? What are we thinking?
Oh, I don't know. It's a personal situation that nobody, at least publicly knows more about. Matt LaFleur said he hopes to have him back today for practice. And when asked if there's a chance Romeo doesn't play on Sunday, he said, we're just taking it day by day. He's not sure yet. So I have no idea what's going on with him.
Jair Alexander or Kenny Clark? Both, neither, either play on Sunday.
Both. If both return to practice on a Thursday, if they get in even another limited session today, I think both of them play.
And what's the idea on Christian Watson? Because Jordan Schultz of the Schultz Report, right? He flared out not nearly as serious, but we felt like we had heard that it wasn't nearly as serious. What's the early rub on Christian Watson's ankle?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur said earlier this week that they avoided a disaster there. And he said he feels they got as lucky with Watson as they did with Jordan Love's injury in week 1. Obviously, Watson's not going on IR, so he won't miss 4 games. Whether it's 1 or 2, but we don't know yet, or 3, we don't know yet. But I think the relief is that it's not longer term, because it did really look bad when it first happened.
And being able to get Carrington Valentine back this week should be pretty big.
That'll be big. I don't want to say they just need one of Jair or Valentine back, because you never underestimate NFL players and these receivers. I know they don't have Kupp or Nakua, so it's easy to fall back and say, well, they just need one of Valentine or Alexander back. Now, let's, for the Packers' sake, get both of them back. Make sure this isn't another trap game or a loss that you're going to look back on later this season and be like, we really should have won that game. So
yeah,
I think both of those guys.
Yeah, because it's easy to sit there and look at it on paper and say, there's a lot of reasons we should win. It's easy to fall in that trap, but the Packers have had a lot of trouble going west in recent memory. For at least for me, it's like I'm thinking as a fan, going to play the Chargers.
Oh, I don't know, going to play the Chargers in the soccer stadium.
All right, so
going out to Santa Clara like every time.
Vegas last year.
Vegas. Yeah, saw
so
that firsthand.
Why should I believe that trend's going to stop? I hope
Rams when Ty Montgomery couldn't decide that he wanted to return the ball out of the end zone.
Don't bring that memory back.
Yeah, they went out to Santa Clara 2 years ago, 3 years ago, beat the 49ers on that Mason Crosby walk-off.
I thought you were talking about the 29ers.
Oh, yeah, that was
Juwan Winfrey game.
That was one of their that was one of their best performances.
Juwan
that was
Winfrey
the game
was
that Devontae Adams caught the pass, had to go into the concussion tent. Then he came out one play later, called another pass. That was the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. Guy gets called out there and he's like, no, we're running a 2-minute drill.
We're going.
Yeah, when they had 37 seconds left and no timeouts. And then, like Armin said, they went out to Arizona and won without their top 3 receivers that same year, I think, in 21.
That was a big win there. Yeah.
But yeah, there was that time in 2019 where they lost to the Chargers, and then Rodgers made the comment that some guys need to reevaluate how they spend their time before the game out west. And they might have gone out 2 days before that 49ers game in 19.
Showed up on a Friday night.
And lost like 37-8, I think it was. So they've had a mixed bag, certainly. It's a 2-hour time difference. It's nothing. Just go out there and prepare like you're going to win a football game. It's not that
I don't think it's nothing. I do think it is something. It's very much like when we say, can it be overcome? Can it be accomplished?
Easily.
Absolutely. But there is a little something when you go all the way out there to the West Coast. Last thing for me, Matt, specifically, this needs to be a strong performance out of the defense this game, correct? No question after this game that this defense is going in a positive trajectory.
Yeah, the topic du jour this week around Green Bay is kind of the pass rush, right? After we saw them have 8 sacks against the Titans, and then they were relatively non-existent against the Vikings. Got some things going in the second half, and that's what Jeff Hafley talked with us yesterday about. They kind of got some things going on second and third down in the second half, but they got to make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable. He's not the most mobile of quarterbacks, but if he has time, I don't care if it's us 4 as his wide receivers. He's going to dice you up. He is one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. Packers need to get some pressure on him. They need to finish those plays. Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary have been big topics, specifically for what they haven't done in the past game. And these coaches are talking about, we need to get more out of them, but we also need to help them more, give them more, one-on-ones, and maybe move them around and put them in better situations. So if there's any game for Rashawn Gary to be like, this is why I'm still paid $24 million a year, I think this would be the one to do it. But the Rams are probably more banged up on the interior. So maybe it's a good game for Kenny Clark to re-announce himself as one of the better interior D linemen in the league.
Yeah,
which
note
is what
boom
Jeff
on
Hafley
IR.
said yesterday he is.
No Boom on IR. Their left tackle also is a nice thing to be able to have as well
Well,
in the background.
Oh, hey,
They
we
are
could use
beat
a win.
up. They are
Mhm.
beat up out there.
We could use a win Sunday.
49ers.
Maybe Sean
Rams.
McVay's wishing, John, that he would have taken that Monday Night Football job.
You know, it's crazy because they struggled, and it was like you thought he would be done. No, he comes back, and here he just blitzed with injuries at the beginning of the season. And I thought they were a team that was going to surprise a lot of people.
I still think they're going to trade for Bryce Young. I think that's going to be the interesting one. Watch them trade for Bryce Young, try to reinvent his career, because then Stafford, shuffles off this mortal earth in a couple of years. Matt, good luck in the postseason. Congratulations, and safe travels this weekend.
Indeed.
Thanks, fellas.
That's Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, theathletic.com, and
brother,
star
big
of the
brother.
Matt Schneidman Show.
Big
To no
brother.
one.
Don't forget to throw in.
To two
Yeah, big
people,
brother.
actually. To two real human beings.
Yeah. 414-799-1973 on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. There he goes. That's Matt Schneidman. Thanks to him for all his contributions to the radio program. And thank you for all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line weighing in on the NicoletLaw.com talk. There's a lot of them. A lot of people on the talk and text line. Why you guys have this guy on?
That was an awkward segment.
Oh, it was all right.
Oh, I
If
had a lot of
could've-
fun.
If I could have punched through the screen, I would have done it.
So it makes it good, though. It's a real conversation.
Do you ever wish there's times you can punch through a screen?
It's better than
Yeah.
better than I can.
Yeah,
John.
Winker last night.
Much better than I can.
Oh,
I think there's a lot of people that I wanted to knock that helmet off his head. All right, 414-799-1973. We'll get back to plenty of your reaction. We're going to go around the NFL. You missed a hell of a football game last night if you didn't turn it on, and some big ones in the NFC to get to. AFC as well. We'll go around the league before we hit the Potawatomi Sportsbook for You Better You Bet picks that you need to beat to eat with the guys at Carnivore. It's 9 to noon on the game.
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And wouldn't it be nice if you could customize anything in life? Like, how about being able to punch through a screen? Yeah, I'd really like to do that. I would have loved to have done it last segment. Or what about the best weather in the world? Just being able to call it anytime you can. Yeah, it would be nice. Well, one thing you can customize are windows and doors with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Their durability of materials gets tested. They're opened and closed, the doors, the latches, the shades, thousands and thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Other unique offerings include fold-away hardware, custom colors, ease of maintenance, because honestly, who's got the time to do all of those things? Well, Pella Windows and Doors does, and they do. Pella Windows and Doors also include innovative features like shades between the glass and integrated roll screens with noise reduction. And right now, listen to this. They also offer 0% interest for 3 years. That's 36 months, no interest, but you got to hurry. This deal ends October 31st. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. And please tell Gina Della that John Kuhn sent you. Visit PellaWI.com today.
9 to noon on the game inside the Iron Jock Studios. A lot of therapy on this fantastic Friday in the state of Wisconsin, even though misery loves company. We got a lot of company on the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line, and soon to be a lot of people in Iron Jock hoodies. They're all new purpose joggers now through October 13th. When you purchase a men's or women's hoodie or joggers like Armin's got on, use promo code FALL30, FALL30. Receive 30% off every hoodie and jogger in your cart. And you'll also get a free Iron Jock travel towel just for purchasing and using promo code FALL30. Damn, that's nice. Go to ironjock.com for more details. ironjoc.com. We need to take a break from the pain and misery of baseball to the excitement, I think, of some football here, John Kuhn.
Love it.
Damn, that game last night was fun, man. I went and now hold on here. And I'm really, really sorry. This is see ball, go get ball. This is John, I got to give you massive credit. Did you just get an espresso machine at the house?
Yeah, you got a little tiny coffee.
Oh, no.
You busted out the tiny espresso coffee
Hold
cup?
on, I'm glad you said something because watching a former NFL fullback drink a little coffee.
A Packers Hall of Fame fullback with the espresso cup. It is one of the most delightful things
This
if you're
isn't
on the
the first
YouTube
time you've
audience.
seen this. I've
No,
been
it's
doing
not.
this
And honestly,
seen it,
I'm
yeah.
more proud
Yeah.
of myself for being able to hold back on it. But I just I got to give you credit because I don't even know that I'd be able to hold that dang thing. You put it
That's
up and
hard.
drink it in perfect sync.
Oh, it's hard.
Am I doing it right?
Synchronicity.
Thank you.
Is that
Tough
it?
word.
I don't
Synchronicity.
even
That's
know if
exactly the word that I was trying.
Is that a
But
real word?
my
Leon,
man's got the
tell us.
pinky up and everything. Like it is, dude. That's how you drink espresso. And he just got it just so
Log
calm
on to
and
YouTube
easy.
next. You got to see John drinking this
You
coffee.
gotta
cup.
do it, dude. You have to watch it. It's unbelievable.
No, so
It's
so
cool.
I go through.
I apologize.
Well, I'm making fun of
there
you.
are,
No.
there are trends and changes, but for some reason, every year when we hit the fall, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really feel like fall yet. Not our fall. This might be
not
fall,
yet.
but
Yep.
this is
yep.
not our
fall yet. Nope. Not my
And
fall.
So once it gets to fall, I mean, the leaves are changing though. Some, I mean, the
Oh,
leaves
it's
are
starting
changing
to.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
I'm
the
seeing a little
Japanese
bit of
maple-
foliage change.
The Japanese
So that's
maples
good.
are always red, so it doesn't count if you see one of those.
All right.
I'm just
And
saying, if
there's
you
your-
see a
there's
Japanese
your-
maple, they're always red. Those are always red leaves.
Just one thing from onething.com and Armin Soren.
There it
Thank you
is.
for
Because
that.
my dad's
Japanese
obsessed
maple
with
trees are
Japanese
always
maples.
red.
He's trying to grow Japanese maple trees. He's obsessed with them. They're always have red leaves.
Why
so
doesn't
go
he
ahead.
do an American maple tree?
No, there's other trees he's got, but he
Why-
thinks Japanese maples
Is
look
he
cool.
trying to make syrup or something? Is he trying to tap into those things? Is that why he's obsessed with them?
Nah, he just wants red leaves on a tree, I guess, all year round. He thinks they're cool. It's been going for like 10 years. It's
No,
starting to
That
grow.
doesn't seem to be working very
Not
well.
a fan.
Nah,
Give me
it's
green
growing.
in the spring and summer. Give me
Yeah,
green in
okay.
summer.
I'm
Yeah,
with
I
it.
like that.
digress. But when
Sorry.
it gets to fall, I don't know. There's something about fall that I like to go espressos. Espressos are great because you can drink about 4 coffees worth of caffeine in
Uh-huh.
one tiny little cup. You don't even get full. You're just ripping these tiny
Dude,
little
it's
things.
awesome.
And next thing you know, you're fighting with some guy calling him a fake big brother in front of thousands of people. Like, I mean, you know, just just rip a couple of these and you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth. I mean, it's
But let's
just
be honest,
anything.
Schneidman would have had no chance. An espressoed up John Kuhn in this conversation, that big brother was going to get littled pretty quickly. He was about to get sunned pretty quickly if he decided to keep going in that
I do the break
conversation.
and the stick with him, and he's really harmless. He just talks a big game. Son of a gun. He really is harmless. Although
He's
I got a
sweet
feeling,
boy.
I got a feeling he might walk into one. He might walk into a hornet's nest tonight when he goes on the Match Diamond show. If he comes on with that
Ooh.
type of energy, that
Oh yeah,
big brother kind of energy. Oh,
Well, Doug's
yeah.
not
It's
the
gonna
one.
turn tough for him. It's gonna turn tough
Doug's
for him.
not the one. It's Doug's doing it, I'm assuming, right?
Doug's not the one.
He's not the one. He won't let him
He
have
said
that.
he ain't that guy.
You
Oh.
think the love muscle's gonna,
I was
give him a
more.
little
I was
piece of his
more
mind?
of all the things that Matt said. I'll say I was more surprised. He thinks he's sure he has the best job of any guy. You can't tell me 1,300 people graduating from Wilton. I love what we do too, and I'm thankful we do it.
I love
there's-
what we do.
But there's
too.
there's probably a lot of those guys with probably a good job. I know it's just not about just money, but
Yeah,
who knows?
money doesn't just bring you happiness.
I'll
Harmon.
tell you what.
There might be those guys in
He
Nassau
is not-
County.
he might lack in other places, but he does not lack in confidence.
That's true. That's
He does
true.
not lack in any
And I
confidence.
like that. And
That's why I'm
sometimes-
surprised he didn't win any superlatives. I
Sometimes
thought he
I-
would
I
have awarded
know.
himself a couple, to be honest.
Most egregious. Most
It's like
annoying.
just easily offended.
Should we do
Most offended. Yeah.
we gotta do station superlatives. Maybe that's a summer topic.
I
but-
forget.
That is
I
a summer
did have,
topic. That
I
is
did
a
have a
good summer
superlative,
topic.
but it's so boring. Most athletic.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well,
darn
It's
yeah.
just- it's just so boring.
No, I got best laugh and Gossip King.
the Gossip King's the one that
Gossip
gets to me.
King is awesome. That's
Yeah,
what you got.
100%, 100%. And but I could only put one in the yearbook, so I decided to go best laugh. Somebody on the talking text line sounds like a hyena. I think that's probably why they voted for it.
That's why they voted for
That's
it.
probably why they
It's-
voted
it's-
for it. Yeah.
I mean, Armin, I hate to say it like this.
So-
We did have a homecoming king one year.
Yeah.
That was an absolute goofball. And he
Oh,
was just
I
mean,
think
he
that's
was
what I was. I'm not gonna
class
lie.
Clown, maybe.
Yeah, gotta have
Just-
one. Yep.
and, I mean,
It wasn't
I
that
wouldn't
people
say
like,
he was Rico Suave with the ladies.
Sure.
He was just a goofball. And we all were like,
this guy.
that guy's got to get it.
Yeah, I
He's
think
gotta
this-
get it. He's
No,
just such a
I
goofball.
agree. I think there was a part of that with mine. I wouldn't doubt that one bit. I will say
That wasn't me talking about, I was not alluding to you in any way. I
Oh.
was saying,
I don't care if you called me last. I got the call.
Got the call.
I don't care how I won. I don't care how I won. The crown
That's
was
your
on,
favorite Carl Malone.
the crown was on my head. Okay,
I gotta say, and I will hate it. I used the Charles Barkley last night.
take that off. The
Take
windows.
that off the windows. Take that stuff off the lockers, because that's ultimately what it was
Well,
in the Brewers
and,
clubhouse.
and how about Spencer? It
With
was-
that incredible
brutal,
digital
But
asset
Spencer got the tweet, man, of the champagne being rolled out of the.
of the Brewers
Clubhouse.
clubhouse
Brutal.
into the visiting clubhouse last night. That's how
That's-
quickly it went.
That's a brutal feeling. man.
Damn. That is
elimination games, though, at least you know when you're the crew and you put those bottles on ice. At least it's not like a game 5 where you put the bottles on ice and then all of a sudden you got to wheel them out and then put them away back in storage
Restore
bins or
'em.
wherever you,
I
you
like
know what I
that.
mean?
That's a good
put them
point,
back in the
yeah.
refrigerator. At least you know now you're just rolling from one to the other.
Yeah, I'll definitely take some solace in that. That digital asset or the Taylor Swift digital asset that Spencer got.
You're right. He's been on it.
Boy's on a little bit of a heater.
Yeah, he's on a heater.
Yeah, but he doesn't get to see. He's getting the stuff in the bowels of the stadium. He doesn't get to watch any of the.
Oh, that is
experience.
true. Yeah. That
He's
is
just
tough.
roaming around hallways the whole damn time. Funny what you might find in these hallways.
Hey, that's
Oh
Gosh.
man.
the champagne. That thing broke my heart too, man.
I would love to know the superlatives that Spencer got. Now we've got some folks on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line telling us
let's
theirs
get
at
this. Most
414-799-1973.
ridiculous superlative you've seen or heard.
How about Dan and
That's
Elkhorn?
what-
I got class flirt and class sleeper. Kind of a weird combo.
Oh yeah, how do you sleep and flirt at the same time?
Or maybe flirt and then sleep. A little less sleeping. There you go, Dan and
I
Elkhorn.
got best.
414-799-1973.
So I got best personality. It was like at a bank. We had like a senior banquet. Then I walk up and I'm like, "Is this your guys' way to tell me I'm not good looking?" I thought that was a funny joke. No.
There you
Boy, I got
go.
crickets.
Good job.
Boy,
No, all the girls that
Boy.
said no to you then just felt like, damn, he's on to us.
I know, right?
He's on to us. 414-799-1973. That is also where you drop your predictions, your score predictions for Packers and Rams coming up on Sunday. So you can be the contestant for You Better You Bet on a wide open Wednesday. Predictions for Packers and Rams right there. We got our predictions coming up in hour number 3. We got the picks that you need to beat to eat with the guys at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse, and You Better You Bet coming up in about 25 minutes from right now. It's 9 to noon. It's John Kuhn. He was most athletic. I'm Billy Schmid. I was voted the best laugh as well as the Gossip King of Whitnell High School, class of
I love
2013.
Gossip King. How did you get that? Oh god.
I was good at it. Made sense why they gave me this microphone. And the prom king, Armin Sorry. And why else would you want to be anywhere else? It's 9 to noon on the game. You got this superlative. You knew what you were doing.
What, the most likely to be Drake or the best Drake ever had? What?
The best I ever had.
Oh, that's yeah.
I mean, that would be a superlative, right?
Did you ever look at your parents' yearbook and see the superlatives they had? It was a totally
No.
different, you know.
What was it?
Can't say I ever dug through my parents' yearbooks,
Most,
but I like
you
that.
know, the Future Teachers Association. It was so much more wholesome. Of like, I don't know. it's just
Oh, so you're
different times.
saying the world is going to crap, is what you're saying.
No way.
The kids are just out of control.
Really?
It's
Is
like,
that what this internet's doing to these kids these
I
days?
don't know if it's the internet
Got
or
the internet, they got porn,
video
all kinds
games.
of dumb stuff.
Okay, whatever.
They got this OnlyFans thing. It's unreal.
But
I
what
mean,
is
It's TikTok.
Used to have,
what did we have
best
back in
athlete.
our day? But a little bit of swag weed. That was it. Just Armin, you sound incredibly old.
Most likely to invent something, or you know, most likely to cure a disease, maybe, or something like that.
I don't know that was one of the superlatives.
Now
I don't
roll-
remember that
now-
being one of them. No.
Now it's you know, most likely to text fast on TikTok or something.
Well, we did get somebody. We did get Nate in Waukesha who said that I don't know. I was voted fastest texter my senior year. Nothing crazy, but I'd never heard of that one before.
That is wild. Fastest
Never
texter.
heard of that before. No.
I mean, we didn't even have cell phones in school.
Best grittier, and hit the gritty.
Oh, that
you
would
know.
be one.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
texting
that's
was
definitely one now.
That
That's
would definitely be
one now. Best gritty.
texting was a legitimate skill though when I was in high school because
T9.
when you had to go T9
Yeah.
and you had to go through just on the normal number pad.
Go everything. Yeah. 9 ... 4 ...
Hit 9 4 times. All right, get through here. So
at-
that was impressive.
You at lunch? What's up? Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I also had maybe the smallest phone
I
ever.
mean,
That
you're
was my
2
first
years
one.
behind me. You're telling me you were texting in school.
No, I wasn't. I just
Oh,
said
some
that
of the cool
would-
kids were,
that would
yeah.
have been what it was like. I didn't have a cell phone until my summer before college. No, I think maybe at the end of senior year I had
There's
that.
no way Leon allowed you to have a cell phone in high school. No chance.
I did, but it was like at the end. I don't think I was actually in school with it. Like it was that
Was your
Nokia.
graduation
That was your-
present?
I don't remember. It was like we're going to college, so get that Nokia, that one that everyone had. What was that Nokia?
You're talking
John?
like the Zach Morris?
No, it wasn't a big
Oh, okay.
beast. It was like the Nokia where you could easily in the middle of the mall buy new covers for it. There's a name for the Nokia. There's a number name that everyone had. The same Nokia phone.
I kind of know what one
It
you're
had
talking
Snake
about.
on
Yeah.
it. You could play
Yep.
Snake, and I could put "Take Me Out to
Yeah,
the
if your
Ball
phone
Game."
didn't have. Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my ringtone. Take me out to the ball game.
Always good when you could do
Yeah.
the text to download a ringtone.
Yeah.
Oh man, sweet days.
But the texting wasn't even available yet in those phones. It was just calls and like I said, buying new covers in the mall for $5. That was the excitement of that phone.
Greg, I got voted most likely to succeed at anything. I like that.
That's a great.
Succeed at anything.
That's great.
Wow.
That's a great thing to get.
Then we get Matt in Minneapolis. I was voted most likely to commit a crime and get away with it. Okay. There we go.
It's kind of rough. I mean,
Gotta have an interesting high school tenure.
You know, when our nooners chime in with stuff like that,
you don't know
your
if it's
whole
real.
entire class that you went to school with figured you were most likely to not just commit a crime, but get away with it.
Get away with it. It's impressive stuff.
Matt in Minneapolis, I got my eye on you, my friend.
TK and Grafton. My grandma got best storyteller on the Wagon Rolling West in her high school yearbook.
Yeah, that's Armin. That's what Armin's talking about.
How about
so wholesome? So wholesome.
815? Now that's an Illinois number. Said we had most bootylicious, and I don't know if I believe in that. You just that's not.
You really
You're
just got
telling me
taken for
it
that?
rolled up in the yearbook with most bootylicious. Come on now.
Armin, so when
Yeah.
you talk about rolling through your parents' and grandparents' yearbooks, was it just
I love that. I love doing it. I love looking at my mom's old yearbook.
all the women's pictures were like best cook, best
Well,
home
no.
ec?
Stop.
At
No.
Harrison Butker School?
Let me tell you something though. It was exciting to yeah, that's funny. I know. I'm not getting into
Not going down that rabbit hole. Come on.
found my grandma's yearbook.
All the guys were like, yeah, best at rolling the cigarettes up in his sleeve.
Best hand rolled cigarettes. Best work in the Prohibition era.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. No, we found my grandma's yearbook when she
best
passed.
tire changer.
Yeah, right. Wagon wheel. No, but it's just cool looking.
Service boy.
I love looking at old yearbooks. It's just I don't know, something weird about me.
Well, there's a couple of things.
My
But that
grandma's
one is near the top of the list.
My
if we're looking
grandma's-
at like 1928 yearbooks.
1948. My
I'm sorry, I was
grandma's
going to
yearbook.
try to cover for him, but I just
It
couldn't.
was like I was amazed by it. Just the fact that I was reading a yearbook from 1948 and people were writing stuff in my grandma's yearbook, like notes and stuff. Like
That's awesome.
that was cool. I don't know.
Hags, was that what they were writing? Have a great summer. Is that still
Yeah.
is that still the go-to? That's still got to be the go-to, right?
KIT was keep in touch.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every now and then, if you got the Q and the T from a girl, she's calling you a cutie. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
damn. Okay.
Oh,
man.
that'll
Look
lift
at
you.
Armin's yearbook over here.
That'll lift you to the heavens for a whole summer. That'll take you through the whole summer when you're like, she thought I was a cutie. You know what I'm saying? That's not too bad. You're doing
A
something.
lot of material.
Yeah, it must be that new Abercrombie shirt I bought. You know, stuff like that. Well, this was 2002.
How are we supposed to respond to this, John?
No, it was
I'm
big.
serious. We could just turn Armin on and just say high school, and then the amount of things he will say,
It's amazing.
and it's just phenomenal.
This is how I had to cope on daylight
it's an
today. You have
That's
to.
unending-
awesome, dude.
unfiltered, just admission to everything. That's
Yeah, but
hilarious.
what-
That is just so good. Travis, this would be what I would have voted maybe Armin for. Travis said, for my senior superlative, I got voted most sincere.
That's a nice thing to get.
This is the nicest thing. And most
That's a
important,
nice thing to get.
and more
Yeah, do you
importantly,
want-
Taco Bell's #1 customer.
That's also good.
Do you want most sincere, or do you want most likely to commit a crime and get away with it? I don't know.
Taco Bell's #1 customer. You know, back then,
Commit a
Taco
crime
Bell,
and get away with
you
it. I
could
mean, that could be anything that you could be going through.
back then you could take $5 to Taco Bell and feed the whole class. You know what I
Everybody,
mean? That
yeah.
was those
Did
were
you
the
bring
best.
enough for the class? As a matter of fact, I did. Senor
Nachos
Leon.
Bel Grande. Who wants one?
Who wants one?
Yeah.
Come on now. He did say, yeah, I came in clutch. Entire grande meal in one sitting. If you don't remember what that was 10 tacos, a Nacho Bel Grande, and a Mexican pizza. I think I could do that.
Wow, why not?
I think I could do that. One
Dennis-
sitting.
Dennis in the shot. I got most likely to be a TV game show host at Whitnell 25 years before Billy.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's what we do at Whitnell High School.
See,
Come
we
on
need,
now.
We need this tonight.
Best talk show host and best gossiper. Like, I can't believe the superlatives just go at.
It's wild.
I'm actually jealous because it makes Dover sound really uncreative. Most
Now-
athletic, so boring.
Best athlete.
Did
yeah.
you take the picture where you were lifting the other most athletic up to dunk the basketball, or was it
Yep.
like you guys just holding the football and the basketball
I'm trying to think of which girl it was too. I can't remember. The high school feels like a whole lifetime away.
Well, I mean, we did learn generations, 20 years. Luckily, we learned that at the Super
More
Bowl.
than a generation. Mhm.
So, hey, Jim Nance.
Yeah.
What else are we going to learn this week? I mean, we're going to learn something this week as he's on the call for Packers and Rams. That's one of my favorite parts of it that we'll be able to get, and we'll be able to enjoy it all coming up with you guys. 414-799-1973 is the NicolateLaw.com talking text line. Let's go with caller number 4 today. Caller 4 going to be the contestant for You Better You Bet. We got our picks that you need to beat to eat with the guys at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse. Continue pumping your score predictions in for Packers and Rams to be next week. Wednesday's contestant on a wide open Wednesday, hour 3, always our best one yet. And we are just hitting our stride, just getting loose today on a Friday. It's 9 to noon on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Glad we're your choice on this Football Friday to get you ready for Packers and Rams, get you through the disappointment last night of the 4-2 at American Family Field. Brewers fall and their season comes to a close. But John Kuhn, Billy Schmid, Armin Sarian, we're with you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line to be able to get you through with some laughs, some conversation. And John, I mentioned to get you ready for Packers and Rams. People are getting us ready with a lot of score predictions, and we're getting ready to deliver our picks and our winners in our segment here coming up. But a lot of confidence on the Green Bay Packers, a lot of excitement for this Rams game. But I don't know if Matt liked the statement an hour ago when I said this game just has a little less luster than you would have thought it did when it was scheduled preseason, because some of the heavy hitters, especially on that Rams side, out makes this feel like a game that you got to be having if you're the kind of football team that we think the Green Bay Packers are, right?
Yeah, I think this is big. I mean, we talked about it. I think you got to go out there. You got to get a victory. And to some extent, it's got to be convincing. I mean, if we win, we win, and we will appreciate the victory and, fix whatever needs to be fixed in the meantime. But I feel like now we've been doing this thing for a month. It's about time we put a complete game together. And Tennessee, it was about the most complete game we've had. But Tennessee's so bad.
Sure.
Tennessee was in such a bad spot when we played them, and they couldn't protect Will Levis whatsoever. It's hard to say. I mean, we did what we had to do there. The rest of the games, I'm sad to say, we have not looked the way that I thought this team was going to look coming out the gates. And hey, maybe some of that is, we don't play the preseason anymore. We don't play our starters, not in Green Bay, not in the preseason anymore. So maybe there's a little bit to that. Maybe there is a little bit of rust with Jordan Love because of the knee injury from game one. Maybe there are maybe Jeff Hafley's defense is going to take some time to get used to, or maybe it's just not going to take off. Maybe it's not going to take off. Here you go. Unnamed in the 715. My worries about the Packers in order. And everybody's got worries. And there are little things. I'm telling you, that Jordan Love turnover thing is hanging in the back of my mind right now. It's just hanging in the back of my mind.
And that is a valid concern. I know it was kind of poo-pooed by Schneiman. That's a valid concern. If you've watched now the last 9 quarters of Jordan Love and whatever it is, 19, 20 odd games that we've been able to see of him as a starter.
Yeah, because for me, it's simply, I don't want to see. I'm glad you got the confidence, and I'm glad you're making the tough throws. And I'm glad those worked for us last year down the stretch the way they did. But that throw to Christian Watson was reckless. The throw to Dontavian Wicks was dumb. And the throw that, whether it was to Luke Musgrave or Romeo Doubs, was just poor. It was just a bad throw. So three, all different things there. All different things. Bad decision, dumb, and missed the target. So that worries me. But unnamed in a 715 worries me for the Packers in order. 1, the defense. 2, red zone. 3, I don't know. I'm kind of confused by that one. 4, kicker. 5, penalties.
Yeah, and I think the red zone is my number one, being able to capitalize in those, John, because that's what ultimately puts you behind the 8 ball a week ago against the Vikings, and you settle for a field goal opportunity, then you end up missing it. Next time you get the ball back, you're down 14-0. Being able to score touchdowns in the red zone, they were 1 of 4, I believe, in week 1, 1 of 3, weeks 2 and 3, respectively. That's something that if they are going to be able to win in January, you got to be scoring touchdowns when you get down there, because they're driving the ball on people, just not being able to finish.
Yeah, and a little bit of that was, we have creative run game. We saw it against the Colts. When we get down to the red zone, we kind of start burying our head into the wall type run game. Like, it's a little bit less creative. It's a little bit less, movement when we get down there, and we're just trying to bully them one-on-one. I like to keep that going. But last week, first drive, you say it, Billy, Dontavian Wicks, it wasn't a perfect pass, maybe a little low, maybe a little behind. Dontavian Wicks has a chance to catch a ball on 3rd down and run for the first down or into the end zone. He drops it. I mean, it wasn't a perfect pass. It didn't hit him on his face mask. Like people say, hit him on their face mask, because that's where you catch the ball. Didn't hit him on his face mask or his chest. A little behind him, a little low. But you can make that catch. Make that. The play was there. Whether you blame the throw, whether you blame the catch, the play was there. So I'm not worried about red zone per se, because I see the plays there to be made. They're just, the players just did not make them at that time. Against the Eagles, we did not make them. I didn't love the red zone play calling against the Eagles. Again, felt like it was too much just trying to bury our heads in. But I'll tell you, I am worried about the defense, and I am worried about, I got to agree here too. I'm worried about the kicker too.
Well, of course. I think that's, that's a legit.
I'm worried about,
but that's more of an obvious thing, right? That we don't have
so
the kicker position totally settled. I
am worried about defense. I am worried about the kicker. I will agree with the penalties notion here, and I will say Jordan Love. So I guess there are 4 things that I'm looking at with this Packers team that I am somewhat concerned about after a month in the season.
And the defense is concerning for me, because you were pretty sold on the defense 2 weeks ago, right? So then to be able to get this now, getting a little hairy here at the quarter pole.
Well, so I am sold that the defense, are dramatically improved in vertical routes in the middle of the field. That doesn't mean there's not a new hole that opened, right? Sometimes when you're fixing a dam, you take a plug out of one hole and you stick it in another.
Rob
Well,
Peter
now you got a leak over here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet if we have a leak over there, because last week we played without Jair and Carrington Valentine. And I can imagine if you want to bring pressure, if you want to bring heat, you got to have guys that you feel comfortable in the back end can keep up with their receivers for a solid 2 to 3 seconds.
Amen.
Like 3 seconds or less. I mean, if you don't have John, you don't have Carrington Valentine. I mean, Eric Stokes was right there. He was right there to make a play, the push off, the penalty, whatever you want to call there. But Corey Ballantyne was nowhere near Jordan Addison on that first touchdown.
Not even close. No.
Just ran straight past him. So I can understand on the first drive of the game, you get that ball up over top of your head for a touchdown. Now you're Jeff Halfley. You're thinking, man, I want to pressure. I want to light him up, but I'm just not sure we're going to be there in the back end to keep a big play from happening.
It is. I was going back and forth with Drew in the press box all day long. Where's the pressure? Where's the pressure? Hard to bring pressure when you don't trust anybody on the outside, and they're getting cooked like they ended up doing, and the numbers backed it up in man coverage last week. Like that is a hard thing to then go back to while you're trying to come back. So very, very exciting game. A lot of people picking the Packers in a lopsided affair. We'll find out if that's where we're leaning with the Green Bay Packers when our picks come up in a matter of moments. But first, we got a final contestant, a final entrant in for You Better You Bet in week number 5.
You better.
You better. You better. You bet.
You better.
You better. You better. You bet. Bet your life.
That is so sad.
I didn't really
It
give it.
sounded so sad.
I'm out of the hard part today.
Oh my God.
All right.
Well, I appreciate
You know, that almost
Wow.
sounded like if you try to watch these games on Thursday night, like I turned to last night, the broadcast is terrible on Amazon. You can't hear a damn thing.
Ooh, okay.
You can't hear a damn thing if you're trying to. The sound and the field mic is all, the mix is all jacked up.
Yeah.
And they got these little red circles around the defensive players for no apparent reason. It's like somebody's playing a video game. You're watching somebody playing the video game, and you don't know why they're circling these players. It's the weirdest damn thing. I'm getting texts in the middle of the game asking me, why do they keep circling the players on the defensive side? And I said, I don't know, but it's been a couple weeks, and it's really stupid, really dumb.
Yeah. And, well, ESPN's baseball production people didn't like. That one, John, has always been an ire for some people. Amazon's TV for football. So,
yeah, they need to get that.
So
they need to get that figured out. They need to get that figured out, because I like Alan and Herbie. They need to get that locked up. They need to get the production side of it better.
No, we got to find
You
a
just
happy.
can't hear. You can't, if you want to hear them, and I don't always have the sound up, but if you want to, there are times I
like
turn it
30 on the volume.
You got to jack the volume way up, and then the crowd's so damn loud. All the background noise is so loud. You're like, why can't I hear what they're saying crystal clear?
And on the baseball side, there's no effects mic. You can barely hear the crowd on the ESPN baseball. So it's the reverse. So, let's invest in good producers and engineers here in broadcasting world, because these are the people that can figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm. And the producers back
Just
at the flagship studios, maybe invest in those guys.
And this,
But
and all
but
those
I'm
guys.
serious. I turned it up. I turned it up last night, Billy. Now that we're getting into football here,
Yeah.
I turned it up to figure what are these damn circles all about? Because
I was going to say, were you on the data cast or something accidentally?
No.
Or?
No, it's the regular Amazon. Oh, so you're telling me Amazon has a data cast?
They got a numbers cast, like a next gen stats
No,
cast
it
that's
wasn't.
all
It
information, and the little guys are running around. They got the squiggly line after they move. Like
Maybe
if that
run-
circle
maybe-
runs and then it like traces where they were at and it
Maybe
like
run
runs
that.
with them.
No, it wasn't doing all that, but it's this dumb little red circle that comes up, and to me, it looks like they're trying to predict who's going to blitz.
Okay,
any-
yeah.
Any linebacker or safety that walks up around the line of scrimmage, they put a circle around him. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you trying to tell me to watch this guy? Because I'm watching him and they just keep getting blocked. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why,
You keep just showing a guy that's just getting pancakes. What's the problem here, Herbie?
Like a
why,
spot
why are
shadow?
you telling me to or he just stands on the line of scrimmage and doesn't move? Like that was an MA. I can promise you that.
Yeah, that's tough then if you're like this guy right here. Look at where he's going. This guy's bringing heat. And then he just sits there and stands. That's probably not going to be one to be able to throw back
I don't
in.
understand what it is. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, they're not winning an Emmy from that one. However, that game last night could have. That was a heck of a battle. 36-30. Tampa's about to put the game away, and then Bucky Irvin fumbles, gives the ball back to Kirk O'Chains. They go down, get a field goal with a second to go with Younghoe Koo, and then score a walk-off touchdown in overtime.
Tucker struggled a bit
Amazing
this
game
year.
there.
Some kickers have struggled. I think Younghoe Koo is one of the best kickers in the league right now.
Yeah, and
You
he
know?
just looks weird when he sets up to kick the ball, but I love it.
But he puts it through.
And they go Koo every time he comes out because he might be their most exciting player. One of our favorites, Deviation Don. Exciting times when anybody jumps on for You Better You Bet, when we are going to get winners across the board. Deviation Don knows the deal. What's your first pick, Don?
How you guys doing?
Ben better, Don.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know. It was a depressing game last night.
What's your first pick?
I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Falcons played last night.
They played
I
last
just
night.
tried to.
You tried to sucker us into an easy victory, huh?
You didn't have
I
the,
just testing you guys.
oh, as a joke. I like that because I didn't have Falcons written down for you here, and I knew I didn't do it wrong.
Deviation, way to try and bring the spirits back up.
All right,
applaud
first
that. I
pick,
applaud
Don.
that. Poor
I'm gonna take
execution. I applaud.
the Bengals.
All right, Bengals plus 2.5 home
Yeah,
against the Ravens.
everything but the finish, John. That's like a good drive in basketball. You get through the lane and then you clank it off the rim. Everything but the finish. He's taking the Bengals plus 2.5 against the Ravens. Bengals need the game like blood, but the Ravens seem like they may have figured everything out.
Well, maybe one of us
Maybe
picked
they
that
did.
game too.
Oh,
We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's find out the rest of Don's
that's a
picks.
teaser. Don, what's your second pick?
The Packers minus the 3.
Taking the Green Bay Packers minus 3. Already know that is going to be a game that potentially gets discussed here coming up. So let's go to pick number 3.
I'm switching my lock. I saw
That's
that
fine.
Neighbors isn't going to play, so I'm going to take Seattle
That's cool.
minus the points.
Taking Seattle minus 7. Malik Neighbors is now out for that game. I have previously said that when it was at 6, if Neighbors doesn't play, I would lay 16 with Seattle. So very interesting to see if that ends up coming up in a couple of moments.
Yeah, I'll authorize it. You can switch your lock. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, what's your next pick?
I like
Don?
deviation,
This
Don.
guy.
Don't worry. All right, Seahawks lock. Look at
There's
that.
not allowed to have any favoritism here, Armin. You're going to really piss people off.
You're
when you
allowed.
Yeah, no kidding.
You are allowed. You've always been
No
allowed.
wonder Don just gets
Hold
in.
on. You've always been allowed to. That's first of all, it's not true.
But
All
you
right,
said you
let me-
like Don. What
I-
about the people you don't like?
I still keep the same rules. You are allowed to change your lock
Oh,
up
so you
until you're
admit
on
there's
air.
nooners you don't like?
No, I didn't say
Truck
that.
drivers,
I
public
no.
workers.
Anybody with a blue collar job.
Don, I don't know. I mean, hopefully Don has a blue collar job, so I can get my way out of this one. I don't know what Don's job is.
Don, what do you do?
I'm wearing a blue shirt.
We'll take
there
it.
we go. That
We'll
sounds
take
like
it.
it works.
With
All
the
right.
collar on it.
Your
With
next
the
pick.
collar on it. All right, Don, what's your next pick?
Did I give you the Cardinals?
That's it. It's plus 7.5. That's your
Plus
fourth pick.
7.5 against the 49ers. Everybody's so banged up with the 49ers. This game is fascinating to me, John. And the team that the Packers are playing next week. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that game.
Yeah. The good news is teams that play the 49ers generally get beat up in those games against.
Oh,
the
that is
49ers.
fair. Yeah, we like that. We like that deal. Don, what's your last pick?
The last one would be the Saints.
He's taking the New Orleans Saints on the road, catching 5.5 on Monday Night Football. Don, tune in on Tuesday to find out how you did in week number 5. All right.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
You're the man, Don. Deviation Don, hanging
Don's
out with
picks
us
are
here.
wild. They're a little wild out there. I mean, I like.
Yeah, he
him
was wilding
switching-
out with some
I
of
like-
these.
I like him finding out that Neighbors is out and switching that. I did not know Neighbors was out. I did not pick that. And I'm not going to throw that in here now that I found out that information. Although I do like that pick. I like the
Mhm.
Seattle pick without Malik Neighbors covering 7. I think going out to the West Coast without your best player, who's only a rookie, it's going to.
Yeah, who you throw the ball to like almost 20 times.
But I didn't pick that game. I picked some opposite of Don, specifically the Ravens -2.5 going to Cincinnati. I think the Ravens are starting to hum now, and Derrick Henry's got 500 yards rushing in 4 games. Mix in Lamar Jackson's running ability, and this Bengals defense that has not hit a stride yet. And Joe Burrow can do the best he wants to do. And when you get paid money like that, you need to be a Superman. Well, he's not Superman enough for the Ravens this week, -2.5. Cowboys +2.5 traveling to Pittsburgh. I got another away team. This is the Cowboys. They're going to Pittsburgh. I don't know who's going to play for the Cowboys, but this is Dak's time. This is one of those games that Dak rolls up like 400 yards passing, and the Cowboys either win a close one or lose a close one. I'm going to take the points in this one. Plus, Justin Fields and Pittsburgh have been impressive what they have done with Justin Fields, but they haven't by any means thrown like points on the board like there's some dominant offense. They have been impressive with Justin Fields, but remember in Atlanta, I think they kicked like 6 field goals to win that football game. It was something crazy. So I'm going Cowboys with the points. Vikings -2.5 versus the Jets. Listen, Aaron Rodgers' offense of no motion, no shifts, no variability, no trickery. It's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel for the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be the easiest game for them and the most difficult game for Aaron Rodgers to try and decipher what the hell Brian Flores' defense is doing to you. And you know what? Aaron will be able to figure it out, but will the rest of his team, including his offensive line, be able to figure it out? Vikings -2.5 in London. For that one, I'm going to take those beaten up 49ers. I'm going to do it. I just think Kyler Murray on grass in Santa Clara for a divisional game, Jordan Mason running the football. Listen, Christian McCaffrey, if he ever comes back, he will be exceptional because Jordan Mason has been exceptional. I still believe Christian McCaffrey is better than Jordan Mason, but Jordan Mason has been exceptional, and I expect them to run all over the Cardinals, -7.5 there for the 49ers. And then finally, the Green Bay Packers -3 at LA. That's my lock. The Rams are beat up. This needs to be a chicken soup game for the Green Bay Packers defense. Jordan Love's, I'll answer the question. I'm not worried about Jordan Love. I think these interceptions are a phase. I think it's a small phase that as he gets confidence, he's taken some chances, and now he's going to dial it back a little bit this week, and Jordan Love's going to be phenomenal. The Packers cruise to victory in this one. I'll make my score prediction later, but the 3 is going to be no problem for the Green Bay Packers in this one.
All right, Billy, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to start right there because I'm also with John on his lock. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers laying the 3 for everything you just said. There's a lot of injuries, especially up front as well for the LA Rams. And one thing that sounds like the most obvious phrase ever said into a microphone, Rams really miss Aaron Donald. You just see they really miss Aaron Donald, John. The lack of somebody up the middle being able to create a lot of one-on-ones in pass pro. They are not getting a lot of pressure at all on the quarterback. And I think the Packers are going to be able to roll up and be able to win this game easily. And the 3 points is not deterring me at all. The other pick that we got the same is also in the division. And I also like the Minnesota Vikings against the Jets. You want to start talking about a team that early narratives and potential favorite for first coach to be fired. Robert Saleh is going to get himself into that territory if they lose these games. That right now, after week 1, they lose to the Niners. People are like, oh, it's fine. They're going to be 4-1. Well, they're 2-2 and very well could be 2-3 at the end here.
And O'Connell's the flip side. You might as well start engraving his name on Coach of the Year.
And then we can find him a new job.
That's my hope.
Then we can find him a new job. But I'm going to take the Vikings laying the 2.5 this week.
I'm trying to jinx it. Okay, next.
I really like this one, and it's why it's my lock. No Joe Mixon expected. Laramie Tunsil a little bit dinged up. Now, the Buffalo Bills are also dinged up. No Khalil Shakir coming up this weekend. Doesn't matter.
Their defense is beat up, too.
Give me Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills +1 in essentially a pick 'em on the road at NRG Stadium against CJ Stroud and the Texans. And I've struggled with my final pick. The 4th one, not at all. I'm with Deviation Don. Give me the Seahawks laying the 7. I said it earlier in the week, John, like I mentioned. If no Malik Neighbors plays, I'd lay 16. I don't see how they score without one on the field.
I should have switched my 49ers pick, but I can't do it.
Well, you got a can't miss coming up.
I got to stick with my gut.
He does have a can't miss coming
You
up.
got a can't miss coming up.
Got a can't miss
I
coming
don't know
up.
if you knew that.
Well,
And
I can't miss with a can't miss right now. I just can't.
You're on one right now. Billy,
I got a
last-
feeling I could very well miss this one.
Okay,
I
what
could
do you
very
got?
well miss this one. I don't know why. I don't know how. Everybody is just loving the Washington Commanders.
Mm.
What do
I
you
got to
got?
go against it.
Oh,
Give me the Browns. I'll catch the 3.5 on the road against the Washington Commanders. Deshaun Watson, if you watch last week,
okay.
actually looked like an NFL quarterback
Okay.
for a majority of the game. One of the better games that he's
Really?
played as a Cleveland Brown. Actually looked like an NFL quarterback. It's a good thing.
Wow.
However, they scored 16 points against the Raiders. So yin and yang, they lost a couple of their tackles. They are expected to be back this week. Myles Garrett expected to potentially play. He was a limited participant at practice on Thursday. Give me the Browns. I don't know why. I don't know how. They keep it close.
Okay.
Washington, reading their press clippings a little bit. First time they've been a favorite. I'm going to go with the dog in that game. I'll take the Browns plus the 3.5.
All right, Billy. Vikings, Packers, Seahawks, Browns, Bills, lock. I like that Bills pick because I think the Texans are having problems, guys. I think Stroud's in the midst of a sophomore slump. I don't think people are talking about it. I think they're having problems.
Wait, aren't they
Mm.
3-1?
No, they lost twice. No, they lost
they did?
once.
They lost once.
lost
They lost
once.
to the Vikings.
But he didn't look that good against
What
the
a
Bears.
slump. What a slump.
Well, I'm just saying I think they're having problems.
What a slump. They only scored 24 last week and a game-winning touchdown to Dare Agumbawale.
They almost blew it.
They did almost lose to one of my team. They almost lost to the Jags because somehow the Jags just keep
Did you
losing.
see my
They
point?
just find a way to lose.
So
It's unreal.
So you see what I'm saying?
No.
No, I don't see it. And what I do see is a can't miss in our future.
Where? Oh,
A can't miss in our future.
Yeah, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook was the place for you to soak up all the negative energy after last night's Brewers loss. Tim Allen and Pipe Bomb were down there
it was
trying
great
to
for a
talk you
while.
off the edge, trying to talk you off the ledge.
You should have heard it when those homers went up. When the Brewers, when Sal's home.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going crazy.
As one of our texters said, AmFam's environment was unbelievably high and then unbelievably low. Well, guess what? Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbooks was as well, because it's like being in a stadium, a game-like atmosphere without actually having to pay game-like prices to go to it. In fact, it's absolutely free to walk in and
Best
sit
part.
down on one of those leather couches and take in a 2,000 square foot LED screen. Go down there and try it this weekend and maybe watch Ohio State and Oregon match up in the Big Ten. Yeah, I said it. Ohio State and Oregon matching up in 2 top 10 teams in the country for a Big Ten matchup. What's up?
That's next week.
Are you serious? That's
Yeah. Yeah. Oregon
That's
plays
the game
tonight. They
next
play
week.
Michigan State.
They've got the Friday night.
All right,
game.
give me Seattle.
See, I like it.
Seattle -7. Make it easy. Make it really easy. Go Seattle -7 because
Dang
it's
it.
as
That was
easy as it
next
could
week.
possibly be.
You'll probably get the W and go 5-0. Don't worry.
Even
Hey.
better, you could get that thing in early and be
That-
able to lock yourself in at the best part of the number for that
Your
one.
pick went wild last night. Kirk Cousins over Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to remind everybody. I was so
Yeah.
excited about this Big Ten game.
It was wild.
By the way, do you want to know what my spiel is? Ohio State's going to welcome Oregon to the Big Ten in an absolute drumming.
That's what I'm
In
talking
We'll
about.
save it for next week.
That's what I was
October-
going to say. That's what I was going to say.
I'm excited because that October 12th, that's the day, John, that people have had circled. The knot.com, that's the wedding website, has it as the #1 picked wedding day of the year. Look at the games that are being played
I
coming
know.
up on
There's
Saturday.
What day-
There's a
what-
slate of them.
That next week,
See what I'm
October
saying?
12th.
October. I told
Ohio
you.
State, Oregon,
I
Penn
told-
State, USC, South Carolina, Alabama. It's Texas, Oklahoma. It's a pretty damn good one.
Lot of
It's going to be pretty tough. A lot of TVs getting wheeled on in for those ones.
A lot of TikTok groomsmen are going to have their apps ready to go to stream.
Oh
Lot of-
my God.
then a lot
Ole
of-
Miss, LSU.
lot
It's
of-
going to be hilarious.
A lot of TikTok brides' mothers that be like, why are these boys watching their TVs?
They could watch football any of the days this year, not today.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins over 500 yards passing last night.
Yeah, by the way, the pick yesterday was Kirk Cousins to have more passing yards last night than Baker Mayfield. he had nearly 3 times the yards Baker
He
Mayfield.
threw it 58 times last night. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was cooking, dude. That was an incredible performance by those two. And I just love the fact that we get the veteran quarterback division. Look at all those guys that are in
Basically.
their third or fourth teams. Everybody on their third team for Cousins, fourth team for Dalton, fourth team for Mayfield, and Derek Carr is, he's the only one with 2, but just an awesome spot to be in. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout, get back to some Packers conversation on the other side. We got a ton of score predictions, and we'll give ours as well. It's Kuhn, Billy, and Armin. It's 9 to noon. Stay wide on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Billy Schmidt, John Kuhn, Armin Sarian with you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, which has been a hotbed of action here today as we get ready for Packers and Rams. A lot of score predictions here. We're going to give ours momentarily. We got a lot of reaction after the Brewers lost last night in about as dramatic a heart-wrenching fashion as you could get. Then we get this message from Pogo in Clinton, and I'm a big fan of it. My God. We're all disappointed in the finality of it. No one more so than Pat Murphy, Devin Williams, and the rest of the team. But when are we gonna appreciate what this team accomplished? I'm so tired of hearing these armchair managers say they would have done this, I would have done that. Yes, we're all entitled to our opinions, but come on and just appreciate the accomplishment. A lifelong Brewers fan here. Thank you guys. Best show on the station. That's from Pogo in Clinton.
Thanks, Pogo. We love you, buddy.
It is difficult to have that kind of feeling in the moment. However, when you do start removing yourself from it, it's easier to look back and say, yes, there's moments here, and here where the game could have flipped. It's the cruelty of sports. I said it earlier, guys, and it's really the only kind of heartbreak, John, that sports can provide. Something that you care this much about, that you have zero effect on the outcome of. But the unifying presence of it, everybody in those 41,000 plus last night felt it. That place was, Boog Shambi said, unglued on Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. That's Sal Frelick home run. That's about as loud as I've ever heard that place. And those moments, you're not going to be able to take it away from the 2024 Brewers, but they're not going to be able to add on to them. It's just the sick finality of this game.
Yeah, and those are still awesome moments to remember. Unless you're Ron, who didn't like that they celebrated there in that home run. But I'm just saying, unless you're Ron.
No, we're not going to do this.
We're not doing that.
We're not going to tear each other apart.
Fine, you're right. Let's unite. Let's be there for each other.
We're not going to tear. We're going to uplift Ron. We're going to uplift Ron and say, Ron, plenty of reasons to celebrate. And winning and losing a series sometimes can come down to a single pitch, to a couple inches, or to some AI that was created for the Mets to beta test and find what pitchers are using to tip their pitches.
How about that?
I mean, let's be honest. That's how close winning and losing can be.
That's it.
In Major League Baseball, in a playoff series, a simple AI algorithm that discovered that Devin Williams was tipping his pitch so that the third base coach could relay it.
It's amazing.
On down the line.
Well, and
you get the polar bear hitting a home run.
Yeah, and John, it 1000% changes the equation, right? You know what's coming. It's a much different story.
Mm-hmm.
You do still need to hit that thing 107 miles an hour or whatever he ended up doing, right? Sit back on that.
Hit it.
Sit back on that changeup. Like it is, and I hate doing it. It's a hell of a tip of the cap to Nimmo for sitting in, knowing that the changeup's coming, sitting and being able to poke it through the middle of the field. Lindor knows a fastball's coming, but he still has to spit on that outside fastball on a 3-2 count.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's difficult to say, their guys made the biggest plays. Just it really, really sucks when it's one of your best guys on the mound, and you had it perfectly scripted. There's no better way that you would want it to go than right there. And then it gets pulled away from you. Brian in Milwaukee, both Packers and Brewers flipped rosters from contending teams to really, really young teams. This is a different Brewers group and not the despondent, no life back in them, lost to the Braves and Diamondbacks Brewers. This team scratched and clawed the entire way. People are saying same old Brewers because the kids didn't have the rebuild adjustment year that you normally see when you flip a roster like that. Just like the Packers last year, this was a good first showing for this group, and I have nothing but faith that they will take the next step very soon. And what's the Pato line for the Brewers to win the 2025 World Series? Well, we'll get there soon enough. Yeah, no doubt there's more for this team ahead of us.
94 days we celebrated this Brewers team. 94 days. 94 times they were victors in this thing. I mean, that's something to take away. None of us saw this coming this year. No,
I lost a lot of money because I didn't see it coming.
You know what? You know what else was frustrating about it last night too is like, when it went bad, it went bad. And that was it. And Devin couldn't get it done. But the rest of the guys, so many guys had step-up moments last night. All those cumulative, those positives can't equal a win. Like Tobias was incredible last night.
Amazing.
5 shutout innings when your team needed it the most. A rookie like that, fired up. I mean, he really went after hitters. McGill got through it, was fired up. I love that.
Nick
Nick Mears.
Don't call me Rick Mears.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
When we needed you the most to finally pitch well, and you did, and he was so cranked up. Freddie came up big with his inning. I mean, everybody was contributing, and you know, Sal finally hit a ball far. It's just all those things weren't enough. And
you had to say something nice about Sal Frelick, and you couldn't do it without
It
laughing.
pained him so bad.
No,
It
I
He had
pained
to
him
laugh,
so bad.
John.
No, I like Sal. I just don't expect it from him. I'm sorry.
You
It's
didn't even
crazy.
say he
dude.
hit a home run. You just said he hit the ball far. If somebody didn't watch the game last night, they have no idea if it was an out.
It's like,
Good
wow, he
point.
finally hit into the
Well,
warning track.
Good point. For Sal, hitting it far is outfield grass.
God, well,
No, I'm just saying that's not his game.
night.
That's not his game. I don't know. I liked everything about it until the end, you know, and that was what really hurt last night. Is a lot of guys stepped up to contribute to a victory. I thought Murph's decisions were good. I would have started Mitchell, only thing, but Sal had the homer, so obviously
Yeah, but
I'm
it played
wrong.
out. Yeah. JB and Milton, I love this one. Lifelong Brewer fan. I'm 55 years old. I fear and dread that I will never see a World Series victory for Milwaukee. People talk about how this was a great season. In my opinion, it was a good season, followed by a disastrous playoff loss once again. Great seasons are defined by playoff success and winning a World Series. I'm so pissed right now and crushed. That's going to be a while till we get over this.
And
Luckily, we got, 3.5 months, 4.5 months before pitchers and catchers report down in Arizona, and hope will spring eternal for the 2025, dare we say, championship season.
But you have to process those feelings, though. Yeah, I'm with you on it. I believe in it, but you have to process your feelings in your own way, and it's going to take
How long
time.
will it take you, Armin? I'm back on the wagon. I'm ready for
Some
next season
losses. Some losses leave a hole in your heart for a long time. You know
what?
See, and I don't think this is the one, Armin.
You might
That's
be right.
that's the crazy thing. I
waiting to see.
can't.
I'm waiting to see.
I can't. But
Time will tell.
if what you say is correct, every playoff team in baseball has a chance just because it's a coin flip. If what you say is true about the baseball players, it's a coin flip, then you should never feel any happier or any worse based off of your team losing.
Well, you still want it to go your way, though. That's my only point. So it still
Yeah,
hurts.
but every one of them should feel the exact same way. If it's literally a coin flip when you get in there,
in terms of
if
what
it's
potential,
if
yes.
it's not about the talent, if it's not about the team, if it's not about the chemistry, if it's not
Right.
about the manager, if it's not about the upcomers, if it's not about the veterans, if it's not about the passion, if it's only a coin flip, like you say,
right,
when you
right.
get into the playoffs, then you should never feel any better or any worse about any particular losses. They should all be exactly the same because you say it's a coin flip.
Well, I feel the way you lose can feel more painful, but but approaching a playoff scenario, going into the playoffs, I'll always feel we have the same amount of chances, which is why it's important to never like give up and just say like, we're going to get back on the horse and keep fighting. You get back on the horse and keep riding.
Yeah,
That's just
because
the
we
way
have a
it
coin
is.
flip again next year.
Exactly.
Bite the
So
apple. Bites at the
it's a
apple.
raffle. So put your raffle ticket in.
I'm buying a ticket.
Earn your ticket every year.
I'm buying a raffle ticket. 50-50.
But if it's a raffle ticket, you should never really get too upset.
Well, you're still upset that you don't win the raffle, but
you should see me when I lose a 50-50 raffle. John.
That's all.
I got that money spent.
Because I know
Just like I
we got a
had
chance.
so many World Series pennants and T-shirts.
How many
and
numbers on the
programs.
50-50 ticket was read last night before that home run?
Oh my God! Just ripping down the list. Oh,
You got 6 numbers there. They read
It-
through
it
the
is.
first 5. It's me.
Last-
No, it's not.
Last night was a 9-inning parlay where you get the first 8 right, and the 9th you're reading down the list.
And there's no cash out option.
and the last one misses. Yeah, no cash out. That's what it was.
There was no cash
That's
out
why it's
option
brutal.
last night.
It's the cookies theory. We smelled
Oh
them.
man!
We smelled and tasted those cookies, and then they were taken away, and we're back to the
Yeah, and then you
back
had to
the
look at
orphanage.
them. They pulled. Jeez.
Back to the orphanage. You don't get cookies. Somebody else.
Now we're orphans.
Well, you know what I mean. Somebody else gets the cookies.
Man, this really
I just
took
have
a
a hard time
drastic
believing
turn.
it's just a coin flip.
It's not literally a coin flip, but there is random occurrence involved in baseball playoffs, and that's just the way I feel about it, John. I believe that. I do.
So quit asking.
Some teams have a slightly better percentage. Yes, it's not.
414-799-1973. Yeah, we get the bye next year. Got a little bit better idea.
You got to get
a
the
little
buy
bit better
now.
possibility.
I've changed my mind. You've got 100%.
Now we're fully in on the
You got
bye.
to go for buys because you increase your chances. It's one less round you have to win.
But
Gotta
it's
get
still
in.
just a coin flip. And
Yeah,
you got to
but
flip
one-
it 3 times.
It's one less you have to win and survive.
You got to flip it 3 times instead of 4 times.
That's my point, right?
Okay, so if you get the bye
So each
and
round
lose,
is a coin flip.
do you feel worse or do you feel better?
You never feel good losing, but you just feel bad. It's the same. It always feels bad to lose, right?
I'm going to feel
I
pretty.
think
Yeah,
so.
I think I'm going to be pretty pissed either way, John. But luckily, you know what? We get to work through it together like we did here today. And then we get to hand it off to Mike Keller, and then he'll rip that scab open just like he does coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll round third. We'll head for home, and we'll give our predictions, score predictions for Packers and Rams next. It's 9 to noon on the game. Yeah, I need a drink in my hand right now. Well, actually, in about 20 minutes when we're done handing it off to Mike Heller. It's 9 to noon. Our Quick Trip takeaways of the day brought to you by Quick Trip. Ooh, they have the lowest legal prices around over at Quick Trip. Need some for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. They usually feature, Armin, also and 30 racks. They also do specialize in 30 racks of beer at Quick Trip, which
They got it all.
I said lowest legal prices around. So definitely go over there. And you're trying to have yourself a damn weekend. Go and enjoy it over at Quick Trip because it should be a pretty beautiful one across the state of Wisconsin. Most importantly, in the state of Wisconsin, we're going to be looking for a win with the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Purdue Boilermakers tomorrow, 11 a.m. kickoff, 9 o'clock pregame. Then on Sunday, John Kuhn is going to be flying out with the Green Bay Packers tomorrow. Take on the LA Rams, 3:25 kick. You're going to hear it right here on your home for Packers football. 1 o'clock Packers preview with Mike Heller and Dennis Krause. And John Kuhn, you and I both have let the cat a little bit out of the bag on who we're taking here on our predictions for Packers and Rams. But score-wise, how are you feeling this game's going to go down that you're going to be on the sidelines for in 2 days?
Yeah, this is 30-13 all over.
Ooh, that's what I'm
This
talking
has
about.
got 30-13 written all over it. Could it be 38-21? Yeah. Could it be 27-10? Yeah, but this has got 30-13 written all over it, Packers.
I think I said 26-13 yesterday on the football feast. Only issue there, red zone issues continue. So a little bit more for us to talk about on Monday. Armin?
Yeah, might be some more field goals than touchdowns. I hope I'm wrong. 27-17 Packers, I'm taking.
There we go. Two
Let's
score
go.
wins by all of us.
Yeah, why
Wins and
not?
covers.
Why
That's what I'm
not?
talking
I
about.
think it's time. Yeah, I
Take
think
that,
it-
Lipstick City.
Let's go.
We've played a whole month now. It's time to play a good game, like
Yes.
a really good. Hey,
That's
what
fair.
we did with Malik Willis was good,
Well,
but now
yeah.
it's time to
with our guys. Yeah. All right, I said this. I wanted to read this text
Yes.
before we forgot. I remembered it from 9:50.
Oh, you did.
Sean from Salt Lake Town thought it was the funniest text. Devin just chucked the third changeup in a row. Right before the pitch, I said, "Bring the heat. No changeup." The silence was broken in my living room by my wife. Quote, "Must have been the changeup. Love you dearly. We talked again this morning."
Good. There's plenty of time. See, there's plenty of time. Pat
was
and Wausau
funny.
said a very similar thing. Thanks for the therapy today, boys. Man, that was crushing. After the 2014 Packers season, I couldn't listen to sports radio for 2 months. I listened to political radio like a psychopath.
Oh yeah,
I knew
Don't go there.
Wow,
Not now.
you were
No,
down
not
bad.
now. He said, I knew I
were
could
down
listen
bad.
to you today and at least move forward, right or wrong. We care about this stuff. It isn't the end all be all, but it brings people together. And that's what I believe is so awesome about sports. We'll win one for you someday. And hopefully it's next year.
We're gonna have a lot of great wins this weekend. I got a feeling.
Ooh,
We're gonna win some game. Things are gonna get better, guys.
We're
All
going to win
right?
some bets. We're going to win a
Sure.
Packers game. We're going to win a Badgers game.
Yeah, let's go.
And the Phillies are going to go up 2-0. I'm just calling. I'm cheering.
I'm
for
cheering for the
Yeah,
Phillies.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Not much that's going
Sorry,
to get me
John.
to cheer for Philadelphia,
Sorry.
folks, but that one's going to do
Well,
it.
I don't expect you to, John. I know you got a thing with Philadelphia.
Can that series can they just not play?
Both lose.
That's hard for me.
Yeah, both lose, no doubt about it. For John Kuhn, I'm Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian. We will be back on Monday. We'll try to be better because we won't have to do therapy because we won't have just been bounced out of the playoffs. Good things come around the horizon, folks, and it comes on Monday. It's 9 to noon on the game.